welcome back. We're Long Live Junto, and we're here for I think our 5th or 6th episode.
Six, I think.
6, man. We did a month. It's pretty good stuff. Well, I'm here, so I'm Freelance Beef. We've got the group here. I got Coach Goichi, said his name right, and Nightmare, of course, doing the producing. As you guys know, we've got a new set from is it Rockville?
Let's see. Yeah, Rockville.
Yeah, Rockville Audio. It's definitely the low end of things.
Hey,
but,
whoa.
Shout out for sponsorship if we can get it.
You just call them low end.
Hey, if you need to start, you need to start somewhere. That's what I say, you know.
You've got a pretty good production team.
It is, yeah.
Their YouTube really helped me out, just setting it all up.
Yeah, thank you for Rockville Audio. We're lucky to have our own mic and whatever Nightmare does over there with the knobs and things.
There's knobs and things.
Yeah, knobs and things.
That's what it's called.
All right, so for today's segment, you guys got the agenda on the right there. But like every week, we'll do some reflection of our weeks, do our Junto origin question. Everybody knows we pay homage from Long Live Junto to Ben Franklin. Goichi had a really cool segment. I believe it was our 2nd episode, was What If, and we're going to do a remix. Part of me thinks the remix actually was what Goichi was intending too, so it could be just a What If segment. And then we're going to have the Hi5Lo5. And then we'll end with some fun stuff with In-Believable History and The Ultimate Present. And I changed that up on everybody last second, so here on the team. So
awesome.
So we'll get started today. We're gonna go ahead and do a reflection of the week. We'll start with Goichi.
So my week was pretty good. Non-eventful. Just pretty chill. And I don't know. I just I had a busy work week, and now it's the weekend, so I just feel like I feel like the months are just going by really quick, and the weeks are going by really quick, and oh man, sometimes you just gotta stop and smell the roses. So that's kind of how I feel. Is like now we're at the weekend, and I kind of just like I'm doing stuff every weekend as far as like chores or just like family duties, and like this weekend I'm like trying to just like take a break and give back to myself, and just take a breather. So, because I mean, things move so fast, you almost forget to like why are you working in the first place? Why are you hustling so hard? And so for me, I'm kind of like, I don't even remember what day it was today. I thought today was Thursday. So yeah, I think I just need to get some rest and just get some sun. Like it's been like so great weather-wise lately, and yeah, I think it'd just be good to get out and get some sun and fresh air. So looking forward to that and everything being lifted for COVID. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Goichi and I were talking about before everything we started the podcast today. It definitely felt like a long week. Not going too much work was very stressful. So it's like, and then we did if you guys check it out on our Twitch, and then it'll be on our YouTube later, is we did a Junto golfing. And that started pretty nice, and then got really stressful as work took some of my time, and I was like just stressing my mind out. But I would say for my week, it was really nice. I got to go to a dinner with Goichi, one-on-one time. It rarely happens, so it's a good beneficial time. Did lunch with Nightmare today, and I'm with you on like it does feel. I was talking to my boss, so I won't say his name, where it's amazing. It's been a year since COVID, like the March,
Yeah,
and it's
much.
like you just feel like it all blended together. And it's like, did we even experience a year? And it's just so trippy to me. So I'm with you on that. I definitely am going to sleep in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like I got kicked down a lot, and I know my wife will feel the same and get some rest. How about you, Nightmare?
Wait, I want to say something real quick too. I forgot to mention. My day got so much better yesterday because I left a sandwich, my nice sandwich on one of the holes, and I tried to go back and find it, and it was nowhere to be found. The pro shop at the front was closed, so at the end of us playing golf, we ended up returning our cards, and luckily someone turned in my sandwich.
Hey.
I was so happy. So
There we go.
thank you to all you avid golfers out there, and all your like honesty, and I just feel like there's a culture built around golf where there's just a level of respect that people have as golfers, where you can appreciate each other, and like if someone leaves a club, like it's definitely a pay it forward type of mentality, I think, with golfers. So Yeah, just thank you to all you golfers out there, because man, it made my day that I got my club back. So
Yeah, that's clutch, dude.
It
You guys are driving all over the course looking for that thing.
national treasure. Man.
Hey, the clues. I mean, you should get Nick Cage in there to steal the Declaration of Independence.
If he put events together like that, I would totally do it with him.
Oh yeah, for sure. We should. Yeah, we should do that.
Gone in 60 seconds. National treasure.
Yeah, scavenger hunt.
Mix them all together.
Speed.
I think they call those escape rooms now.
Yeah.
But yeah, my week was good. Work wasn't as mind-numbing as last week. I did a Call of Duty stream for us on Tuesday. That was fun. My mom's birthday was yesterday. Got to spend time with family, and that was awesome. Yes, after switches on, but yeah, after golf, I went to my family's. We went out to dinner at this really good. I keep saying we need to go to this place, and I always forget about it. It's called Brew Ale House in Los Alamitos. I don't know if you've ever been.
Oh, you changed from. Didn't you tell me like Captain Jack's or something?
Oh, that's Saturday. We're going to,
Saturday.
yeah.
Damn, your
Yeah.
mom gets 2 birthdays?
Yeah. Well, technically the birthday, technically the birthday celebration is Saturday. I literally just went over there to hang out, and and then we were like, well, we haven't had dinner yet. Do you want to have dinner? And they were like, no, I haven't had dinner. So we just went to some place that's close and really good.
What'd you say it was? What was
Brew Ale House Kitchen in Los Alamitos.
So it's a brewery too.
It's got it's got beers in it. It's got it's like an assortment of food. It's actually got kind of it's got a little something for everybody kind of deal. But Friday was good. Setting up this monstrosity. Hopefully it's coming through good. I'm gonna have to check it here soon. But
You did it pretty well. I mean, this is you opened it at like 4 p.m.
yeah, 4:30.
Yeah, and you did pretty well. So
Yeah.
pat yourself on the back.
So
Kudos to you.
Yeah, it's like
yeah, once
Edward Scissorhands cables right there.
yeah, my cable management is not on par right now.
A little bit better than
So,
mine. I'll say that.
but yeah, that was my week. It was good.
With you holding the mic that way, do you want to sing now?
Oh yeah.
Coach can chime in with some Bohemian Rhapsody, right, Coach?
Oh, hell yeah.
Coach, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. This was actually, it was kind of a nice week after being sick last week. Going through a whole work week not being sick was pretty damn nice. It's also kind of calming down a little bit because we're getting towards the end of like the school semester. So my workload with my athletes is definitely on the lower end, and we're just getting prepped for summer. But so that's kind of like that's probably the busiest part of my thing right there is like really just working with athletes as they get ready to panic about finals and get ready for summer and summer. What's that?
You kind of mess with them with I would play, the finals, because like I remember when I was in finals week, I would be like stressed, and I'm already stressed all the time, but like I was like a lot more stressed where I would be walking around like a zombie. So it's like, do you ever just like, I don't know, I would just mess with them a little bit. Do you do that or like mess with? If you
no, I don't have the opportunity to mess with them because like most of my teams like just ended their season, so they're taking a little bit of a break. So some of my kids I haven't really actually seen this whole week. The team I've seen the most is like football. Football's getting ready for their first playoff game tomorrow. So I'll get that. So I've been getting psyched up for that.
That's crazy because football, the NCAA finished like forever ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the NAIA organization basically let you. I think they basically let you choose
That's a
if
real
you want
organization, folks. Just to let you know.
That's what.
That was a real organization. Just to let you guys know, he didn't make that up right now.
Oh yeah. No, they let you like play in the fall like a normal season or like in the winter, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna have the playoffs for everybody like in April, and then like national title stuff like in May. So round 1 of playoffs is this weekend, so we're hosting a game. So we have our home game tomorrow afternoon, and I'm excited to like the guys I've been working with for 4 months now to like get to see them go out and play. So the highlight of my week is yet to come.
I thought your weightlifting stream was pretty phenomenal.
Well, thank you. I was a little tired after that one.
You did really well, man. Like I think it was a level 2.0 of what you got the first time. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for 3.0 and 4.0 and to infinity and beyond.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to start throwing in some acrobatics or like lighting stuff on fire while I lift it to really keep everyone on the edge of their seat. But,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
no, that was my
Johnny
week.
Blaze or whatever.
Yeah, John.
Yeah.
Make a deal with the devil.
Yeah. That CGI doesn't age well. There's some
No, it
movies
does not.
where,
You know what? If I turned into a Ghost Rider, I'd be okay with that. That'd be pretty badass.
his chain's cool, and a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's where it stops.
The devil's gonna devil, man. Yeah. Another random movie that's like that is, you guys ever seen Bedazzled with Brendan Fraser?
No.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. It's like where keeps making wishes to the devil, or like I think he's got like 3 wishes to the devil, and the devil's like he's like, I want to be rich. Like one
George
of
of the Jungle, that dude.
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
same
I
guy.
have
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah, remember there's one like
With
one
that
of them.
babe in the red dress.
Yeah, she's the devil,
Okay.
and so she
Yeah.
every time he wishes something,
I've seen that clip of it.
and it always
Yeah.
backfires on him. So like he wished to be like a famous, pretty much the white version of Shaq, and he pretty much wished that, and then like he wants to get with this girl, and the girl's the reporter in the scenario. So he's like, I want her to be the reporter, and so she, what's her name?
I don't remember.
I can't remember the devil's name. She's really Elizabeth Hurley. It's Elizabeth Hurley. So Elizabeth Hurley like snaps her fingers, and he's doing an interview, and he's just profusely sweating, and like all over her, and then she's like at the girl was the reporter, and she's like, hey, do you want like, nobody's here anymore, do you want to and then he undoes his robe or whatever it is, and he's a little wiener. So like she's like, never mind, and she leaves like instantly.
Oh my gosh. That's a
We've
good
all been
memory.
there.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. I don't. Oh, we went off the random topic because of the devil, right?
Yeah.
Devil, Johnny Flame, Blaze, and yeah. You started that with the Ghost Rider thing.
Little wieners.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be it. Yeah. Just start adding. Yeah.
I wasn't sure where
Plead
you're
the
going
fifth
with that
again.
either. When in Rome.
Yeah. When So I think that can move us over. So the Junto origin question, I am going to say I will have to explain it to our group because I had to look up what some of the words meant. That we're gonna run into. I was looking at some of the lists like as you guys keep going, and I was like, oh, good luck on that one, because I was like, I don't even know what that's saying, but that's what we have Google for. So the question of the day is, Junto origin question of the week is: have you had any weighty affair in hand in which you think the advice of the Junto may be of service? So I'll say it again. Have you any weighty affair in hand? So to explain that to the audience and everyone here, so weighty is just it's like powerful, or it meant something, like, when it happened to you, it had it like touched you. Affair is like an engagement, or it could be an experience. So have you had an experience that meant something to you? Because in hand, like it's in your head, is in hand. That's what it's implying. Oh, I lost it there. In which you think the advice of the Junto may be of service. So Junto would give, let's say you experience something where Junto could give advice here today, and it could have helped with that experience. So that's what it's asking. So I will start with, I was about to say my own name. I was about to say it, but Coach, let's go with you. Because you got that 1776 thing going on, and Benjamin Franklin I think was alive, but I don't know. And yeah.
So Beef, can you please repeat it for me again, just so we're on the same page?
Sure. Do you want me to explain? Do you want me to do my version of it to make it easy?
Yeah.
Have you had an experience that it could be recent, it could be, doesn't matter in life, where you would want to get pretty much our opinion on it, in a sense that it could have bettered the situation, or it could be the advice could be important towards it. So if like you experience something that where you had an issue in life or whatever, and you kind of want to hear what would you guys have done, what would we have done in that situation. That's essentially
Yeah.
what it's asking.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's asking. I mean, I could be totally wrong, and then it's like, yeah,
But that's
it's
what
like,
we're gonna go with.
that's where we go with that. There's, you know, what's the funny part is we interpret it completely wrong, and then there's like Junto historians just ripping on us, like,
That's what we're aiming for.
yeah, God, you're
Ben-
sick.
Like Ben Franklin's 7 times great grandson is like
Yeah.
pissed at us.
Benny.
Yeah. He just goes by B.
Yeah.
BF.
So you stalled a little bit on that, so you had to give us.
I would
give us
say
your-
I would say something that's it's not necessarily specific to this week for me.
well,
and I
I
think
just want to
it-
clarify to everybody, it can be at any time in life. So
Yes.
you could go back to when you were in diapers for all I care, and it would count, you know.
I think this is definitely something that's kind of like a storyline for me recently. But I'd say it kind of ties into a segment we had last week where we talked about happiness and money. And for me, just like the revolving door that is like my career sometimes in like different areas, like applying to jobs or like looking at things. Like I know that we all like are from different like walks of life and everything, but I think that probably talking to you guys more, like just getting your guys' feedback on like life stuff, like life situations, like when it comes to me, like looking for jobs or like looking to move elsewhere for a job or take a different job somewhere else, and kind of like bouncing things off you guys, because I know we've all talked about like moving different places and things to consider. Some of us, for example, the two of us that are actually married in this group, having to take into consideration like a significant other when you guys like look at possibly moving somewhere, like housing prices, the future of having kids, things of that nature, where you guys like have actually had to figure those in. I took this job and I moved out here because I was single and I didn't have any kids or have anything else. I literally packed up my car and just left. Like you guys, I mean, are in a different situation, and Nightmare is, Nightmare doesn't have a wife, but he still has stuff to wait. He still has family in SoCal, and like getting your guys' opinions on like moving places and just kind of like life stuff. It is like I feel comfortable and I would want to talk to you guys about different things. So that's kind of been something that's kind of just like an ongoing thing for me. And it always has been as I've applied to jobs that were in California. And so I would say that's probably something I would have talked. I enjoyed talking to you guys before about it and hearing your guys' stories, and it kind of made me think a lot about my stuff. But I would say that's like an ongoing like thing that I have in hand to always like kind of run by you guys. No.
Well, that's because my mic was off.
Okay. Well,
I was-
Knows
that
how
makes
long that
all
was.
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. So I said if I was going to give you some advice, I would say definitely move out of California for a job and go for that career.
Yeah.
Definitely do that. That was actually, I'm going to kind of piggyback that. That's kind of one of my, that would be my question for the group. If I'm gonna just piggyback off of you, Coach, is like I've sent applications out to different states. I haven't gotten any response yet, but I guess my question would be like, how would you guys go about moving somewhere else? Or Coach, if you've actually done it, how's your experience been so far? I guess I'll pass it back to you and then go around.
Eye-opening to say the least.
Hmm.
There's definitely things that like you think that you're gonna encounter when you move someplace. Like for myself, like I moved into a house with other people that I had never met before. I moved to a city I've never been before. I have family somewhat close by, a couple hours drive away, but essentially like I'm in a city by myself where I knew nobody and still really know nobody. Just kind of like took that leap, and it's definitely different. you kind of have to focus on yourself, or at least I've tried to focus on myself when I went here, because like I'm here for a job, and I want to, do that first and foremost, and I want to be good at my job, but also want to grow and learn at my job from my boss. So I'm just I try to like make that like my most important thing, so that hopefully kind of picks up everything else and kind of like makes everything else kind of come together. If I focus on myself and like a job first and like what I'm really here for, um, and then kind of has helped make everything a little bit better and settle in a little bit.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna let Goichi go first on this one, and then I'll.
Well, this is more towards the nightmare since
Yeah.
coach is already out there. But for you, I would say, I mean, it's the outlets we have and the resources we have to find a new job is like, it's crazy. Especially like living in California or like the surrounding states of California. I mean, there's so much opportunity out there. I think where it starts is understanding like where you want to go in life. Like what's your passion? What do you want to do? And then once you figure out kind of like where you want to go, figure out how you can get a way in. Whether that's starting at the bottom, at the middle tier, or even top tier if you have to fake it to make it. But my thing is find a trade that you love or a passion that you love, and obviously like this side gig is our goal and dream that we want to achieve, right? But like do something that at least like brings you somewhat happiness or you enjoy doing it from time to time, and I would say use all of the resources you have as far as like LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn's great because you can upload your resume and then you could just apply, like mass apply to multiple places. And I've actually gotten a lot of responses back and leads through LinkedIn for job opportunities. And then not only that, you're building connections within a network that you're looking into. So like not only if you get turned down with a job, but you're building connections at least within that industry and vertical. So like you can use stuff like that. There's all these different sites like Glassdoor and stuff. So I feel like as long as you do your research and you understand where you want to go and you draw that path, I mean, that from there, like as long as you know where you're going, everything else should be easy as far as like finding the right job. But I mean, to each his own, and like there's different methods to everybody as far as applying. I mean, you're talking to a guy that I went door to door, and all my friends made fun of me because they're like, that's old school, like everyone's gonna shut the door on you. Well, I didn't let others influence me on what their thoughts were. I went door to door with a suit on, and I had a book full of resumes, and I just went to every I work in IT, so I went to every IT company that I knew around the surrounding area that I interviewed. I interviewed for one job, but after I did that interview, I walked around to all the other businesses and applied and knocked on their door, and I even fibbed a little. I said, I saw their company a couple months ago. I applied and I never got a response. They didn't check up on that. They didn't know if I was telling the truth or not. They just knew I was there, I was committed, and I showed up with a resume. And before I even went in, I did research. I sat in my car, looked up their company, and saw what they did and what their strengths are, who they're partnered with, and I made sure to reiterate that back, like regurgitate what their company is, what they're about, but show that I'm passionate, I took interest in their company. And then that makes you stand out somewhat from everyone else versus I need a job, So it's really about strategizing. I mean, it's a chess game, and you're a chess player, and that's what it is. As long as you can strategically put your pieces in the right place, things will fall in order. So I truly believe that. So, Beef?
So Goichi and I are similar, and Coach kind of hinted at this, that we're married. So the way that I would research to leave, I think is a little bit different because I'm impacting. I look at like I look till death on, like, if you want to have goals in life, like you want your goals, you got to look till death, and then go backwards, right? Like it's called reverse engineering. Everybody always talks about that. You kind of reverse engineer your life, right? To me, I could do any job if I really wanted to try. Like I could switch jobs. I'm not passionate about, like I like the job I do now, but if in 20 years if I'm doing a different completely job, it's what Goichi said. I could be passionate about that job if I'm in it. So I look at jobs as a means to an end. So that you said your question was advice on leaving. First and foremost is you definitely want a great job market wherever you're going. A job market so diverse that no matter what you do, you can find work. Even if you've got to, scrap up shit, to be able to do it. You work 3 jobs. That's what you got to do. You want to find a place. So we're in California, extremely high rent. So if your mission is, hey, you don't want to move from a place that has so high rent to another place that has high rent, right? But the first and foremost, what I would do is what Goichi said that was the best is list out your goals at the end of life. Assume that a woman's going to be in it, or if a woman's not going to be in it, do both. See how both play out, and you pivot, right? So you already have one. You do the first one where you stay alone the rest of your life, and this is just the reality of like just what are your goals? Like how much money do you want to have before you die? What kind of land do you want to have? Do you want to be where in terms of investments? Do you want to be a property person? Do you want to be a stocks person? Do you want to be cryptocurrency the way it is right now? Do you want to be in those? Most people would tell you to diversify in all of them. Blue chip stocks, the 25, that's a great strategy too. So to be able to do all that though, it's what Goichi said, is your goals have to be written down, I think, end of life. If you really even want to go further, for me, what I've even done with having a wife now is I've gone where my kids are about to go to college, and now I'm starting to think that way, and like and that's exactly why looking at where you live and being real about yourself, like where you live, is really important. That's why that's a hot topic right now, people leaving this place because it's expensive to live and they can't reach their goals in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah. And so my advice, first thing and foremost, is if you're really serious about it, write it all down. I always recommend
vision boards are good too.
Vision boards great, and Trello is the perfect tool for it. I have it on mine where what's 5 years look like? Go backwards. What's death look like to you? Do you want to leave debt to other people when you die? Do you want to make sure you're taken care of? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's crazy to think that way, but you won't know. I mean, the reality is what you're thinking today is probably what's not going to be the reality now. Then, but you have to see the end to be able to keep going. Because if you're just going and planning only 5 years out, I know a lot of people aren't like this, but I really believe that's the best way to move forward, is that you'll always be real with yourself about, what's the truth. And Goichi said the best. When you go out there, the reality is don't have any. He said this. He said go door to door. And what that tells me is he didn't have any expectations. He was willing to do whatever it took. Right. So lower the expectations when you're out there, because it's not going to be wherever you go. Like Coach just said, it's your. My father says this all the time. You're trading one set of problems for another set of problems. So there's going to be problems.
That's the truth.
Yeah, it's like it's going to happen.
That's life.
I've been escorted out of corporate buildings too, by the way. Like trying to get my resume.
Really?
Talk to HR rep. Yeah,
oh my
security
God.
guards have taken me out. They've escorted me out of one building. So they had another building, and I went into that one too, and I got in big trouble after that one because I already had my warning and escort out. But I do agree with Beef, especially knowing what you want in life will only help you find a better woman as well. It'll save you a lot of time of dating or just looking for the right woman. If you know what you want in life, then it's easier to find a woman, because you'll automatically attract to someone, or you'll know when you talk to someone, she's the one or she's not. Over time, you'll figure that out too. But if you have all your goals aligned, it's not like that person has to be aligned with you as well. But if you guys are kind of on the same roadmap, I mean, it's going to be that much better of a relationship too. Because then you guys have an understanding coming in of knowing what you want in life together. You know what I mean? So
you always move forward too.
That's
true. Because that's the reality is when most people would say to me, well, I don't know what I want to be, what I want when I'm 60. You have to put yourself logically in that, and like what you just said is so important, because if you're thinking like that, that's someone that thinks like that. It brings a lot of. You will work towards being always progressing forward and change and working on that also will push you to work on yourself, and then your significant other will find value in that. Well, depending on the person, but most women.
Hopefully, she would find value in that.
I hope so.
Especially when you do your hair.
I was gonna say so.
Step one.
As a joke, I was gonna if Coach didn't have such a good answer to the Junto question, I was gonna say jokingly. Something a weighty affair that is should I do my hair?
Yeah.
But no, that was more of a serious one.
Wait, I want to hear what Coach's answer would be. Do you think Nightmare should do his hair?
Absolutely.
All right.
Damn you.
Honestly, I want to see him grow his hair out.
3-1.
What about people at home?
I want to see that
hear
shit.
you guys
My
too.
mom is gonna be just all over the chat if she is in the chat right now.
We want to see style. What do people at home think? Come on, leave your
I
comments.
think you would look great, man. With your
Mohawk?
hair,
I want to see
honestly.
him grow some mousse in that hair.
Whatever you want, honestly.
We'll call you Moose.
It's so. It's so coarse. It doesn't like any product.
Like sand.
Yeah.
I used to have hair just like yours, but I grew it out and then you style it.
Hmm.
You can do
Granite.
it. I have really
Mullet.
thin
Hey,
hair,
we
too.
should Junto mullets.
Sandstone.
You mullets?
Well,
We all
the way my
wanted
hair is
to-
disappearing, I don't know if that's gonna ever happen. It can get long in the back.
Every
but
time-
it's gonna be that,
every time
it's
I
gonna
get
be
a-
the George Costanza mullet, where it's like
Every time I buzz my hair, I'll just sweep up the hair and send it to you.
we just keep like, super glue.
Yeah.
Super glue that baby.
It's just like patches everywhere.
Call me patches.
It's coming in. It's growing in, guys.
Yeah.
I wanna
I think they
hear,
got my. Oh yeah, go.
Oh,
sorry.
do you have more to add?
No, I was gonna say I think they got my DNA wrong at Bosley, and they gave
Yeah.
me the wrong.
That's
the
all it
r-
is. It's like like I go in there and it's like there's like a, you know how like you do like sperm banks.
Yeah.
They have sperm banks, but there's like people with great hair that go in at a Bosley, and I see you and you walk right out. I'm like, oh,
That
okay.
explains it.
Yeah. So I want to hear G's affair.
Gosh. Okay, I'm gonna make mine just like short and sweet and very funny, I guess, in a way, because like everyone's kind of serious about their topics.
Yeah.
Mine would be if you're going into a bathroom, right? And like, do you pick luxury or do you just pick something like just to get it? Like, if you had to go number 2, right? Or
God.
you just wanted to pick a stall, do you like think twice about going into a handicap? Because I'll be honest,
Oh,
I
dude,
do
that's a
not.
good one. That's a good
I
one.
do not.
This is good.
So like, yeah. What was your guys' advice on that?
We talk
'Cause
about.
I would. We did bring it
So
up.
everything's
somewhat,
open.
Yeah.
Everything's open, and like really, you're in a place where like, I mean, you didn't see anyone like in a wheelchair or anything like that, right? And so you're going to
Go
the
for it.
bathroom. Yeah, right. Like that's how I feel. Like I want that room comfort, and I don't want to like someone doing a drive-by peek through, like what we talked about before.
Yeah.
I do. I rank. So I don't know if anyone does this, but the first thing I do is I rank the toilets. I actually like if it's not.
Oh my
clean,
God,
Like I don't want to
yes.
spend work
I know what
cleaning
you
it. Like
mean,
so if
yeah.
like if that thing's destroyed, I'm gonna be like I'm gonna do my rounds first.
Yeah,
and then
I
if-
agree.
I go with whatever's the least clean because ladies do not understand this, but like a men's bathroom, like you talked about like the goodness of the golf,
Yeah.
but like that's where you lose faith in people
Yeah.
when you
You'd be
go into there.
surprised you know about women's bathrooms, right?
Have you seen a golf course bathroom?
Oh God.
Well, you
I-
went recently.
Okay, so I've been to downtown Disney before too, and if you guys ever seen the ladies' bathroom there, it's nice. Like they got like this lounge couch in there and stuff. But when she was my girlfriend at the time, but my wife, and she opened the door, right, it just swung open. Dude, it's like they don't even think that there's trash cans in that bathroom. Like,
Oh, you toss on the ground?
yeah, when I used to work in a data center too, it was an office building, right? And I would come at the later shift, so the janitors would come in and clean up after all the office people left. Dude, I swear, they cleaned up the men's bathroom like it was nothing, like a couple minutes. They were in there for hours cleaning the
Whoa,
women's bathroom.
okay.
And one time
Maybe
he
we
was
have it
pulling
wrong. I
out,
have it wrong.
he was just dragging toilet paper trash, like, all from the ground. And I felt so bad. Their trash can was overflowed, and then there was just trash everywhere.
Damn, it
And I
sounds
don't
like
know-
an apocalypse now
I thought
situation.
women's bathrooms would be super clean. So maybe a woman on the stream can, justify if public women's restrooms are dirty or not.
Yeah,
but,
man,
like,
I kind of
Yeah.
want to know.
Man,
My mom
that's 2 in a
commented
row.
she wants me to grow my hair out.
Yes.
Amen. So
Yeah.
we've got, I think we have 1 million people, or 1 million followers
Yeah.
have said we're at 1 million.
Gotta do it now.
1
Did
million.
it.
That's what my mom's worth to me.
Let's go,
1 million.
Moose.
1 million followers.
Thank you to everyone for getting us to 1 million.
Just real quick. We talk about the bathroom a lot. I wonder if what Ben Franklin thinks.
It is one of
Dude,
the most
he could
valuable
probably use
vacations.
Very
though.
true.
You know what I mean?
Very
Like,
true.
It's one of those things you always need it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Part
like,
of our lives.
yeah.
It's part of everyone's lives. I don't
Yeah.
care who you are.
Very true.
So.
I wonder what the Junto bathrooms looked like.
Oh man, I think they still had outhouses there. There's a hole in the ground.
Get splinters in your butt.
Yeah.
It's probably the nicest hole in town, though. So
Yeah, that's what they said about Ben Franklin.
Amber, what do you
Jesus.
think about? What's your
Oh,
advice?
definitely. Just go to the most comfortable, cleanest bathroom. I don't care if you have to go to the women's bathroom.
Oh,
I don't care. Like if it's an especially when it's emergency.
that is hard though. I'm
I-
so paranoid about running into a woman if you go in a women's bathroom.
I just
Wait a
I
second.
look them in the dead the eye. I had to go.
I've
I've had to go-
They walk
Wait-
in and
wait,
it's
what
like,
did you say?
they get whiffed.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
right in
they
the
just-
face.
Who's used a women's restroom in an emergency situation?
Multiple times.
I've done it once.
Multiple times.
Okay.
You?
It depends on
Hannah Mom
what
says-
we're talking about. If you're talking about like, so G talked about going into, or he didn't say go into, but he had mentioned about downtown Disney. I've never done a big restroom, but if you're talking about just a single one, where like where it's like you have one single.
I know what you're talking.
I've done that, but and it was labeled as
with
women.
like multiple stalls.
Yeah, when it's
No, honestly,
multiple,
like
I'm
multiple,
too. I
like
only
where
done it
another
once
woman
in my
could have
life.
walked in.
You have, yeah. That's
Yeah.
I would
I was
be
desperate though.
I would like lift my legs up while I'm like going because it's like oh my god like
Yeah, but then
I'm like-
then they're gonna think that like no
Because
someone's
if I have boots on or something that's like my Levi boots, if I have those on and people are just like, because that's like, oh my god.
okay, but if there's no feet there, then they think it's empty and they're gonna try and get in
And then you
to the
fart.
stall.
I would rather
You're
have
gonna
that
see
problem because I
And
can
then
put
he's-
my
Hello!
foot on the door.
Yeah,
Someone-
someone occupy
Yeah.
occupy it. Do a stupid woman's voice.
Or do just do it very deep.
Yeah.
Occupied.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my god.
What about you, Coach? What's your advice in the situation?
I would say find a clean bathroom because honestly, the amount of times that I've like walked somewhere and like I've like you thought like, oh man, I really have to go to the bathroom, and also you walk in, you're just like, yeah, you know what? I don't actually have to go to the bathroom that bad anymore. When you see like how bad and nasty it is, it's like find the
Goes
clean
back,
bathroom.
goes up. It's like
Yeah. You're like, well, you know what? Actually, I can. You're like, actually, I can clench my cheeks together for another half an hour. It's okay.
Oh man.
we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, I've never had that experience. If the toilet's nasty, I'll have to like rush clean it. I've never gotten that.
That's the worst when
Since-
like you have like a belt. It's like a super hard belt and like a bunch like you're like starting to go in panic mode trying to get it out and like.
Yeah.
So this could probably be another segment. It's how do you use the toilet? Because I used to work with a guy. He was Vietnamese, right?
Oh, you told me you stand on it, right?
Oh,
He,
yeah.
he would stand on top of the toilet and squat, and never touch the seat. It was the weirdest thing ever. And we actually told him like we went in the bathroom. We're like, show us how you do it. Like he didn't take off his pants or anything, but he stood on the toilet. And he's like, you just do it like this, and we're like,
Just start throwing
he
candles
looked
at
like a
him.
monkey.
Because like
Yeah.
he's technically clean, right? Because he's never putting his butt on.
I
Them.
guess.
Yeah,
Yo,
and-
dude, that
well,
is
'cause-
weird.
Yeah, well, in those Asian countries, they don't have
That's
like
what he said.
you just squat. So he
Yeah.
probably thought that like the toilet seat was like
He probably has
For
like
your
thick
feet.
thighs,
I don't know.
like
Oh,
just straight,
yeah.
like
He's
just,
funny because
You
he
think
has
that's
such
why-
a strong accent too. So when he was like, whenever he talked shit or just talk just normal, like it just always sounded funny.
Do you think that's why the Asian squat is a thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because of going to the bathroom?
Yeah, I mean even like when you go over like to like their homes, right? They're sitting on the ground usually or squatting, or
Mhm.
they have like these little stools and half like coffee tables. So
Little
yeah, it's pretty normal.
little stools.
I don't believe that's a real thing though. The Asian squat. I feel like anyone could do an Asian squat. No?
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's definitely
Asians
a
are
thing.
just really good at it.
Okay.
It's not. It's like everyone can squat, but the Asian squat is you keep both feet on the like your feet flat on the ground.
Kind of like a frog in a sense.
Yeah. Because like I
Ever done the-
I can't do it. I can't do it. My heels come up like
Oh,
like
really?
like a catcher.
Mhm.
But like the Asian squat is both feet
Oh,
are,
that's
are
a
flat
some
on the ground.
strong,
Yeah.
Nah, you
Achilles.
guys can all
Yeah.
do it.
Well,
I
that's-
can do it on
that's
my
what-
size. Come on.
That's what. Well, no, that's actually a thing. The Asian squat is their Achilles tendon is longer than
Oh,
than,
Really?
That
than
makes sense because
than Europeans.
Goes up, yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
so-
damn.
Now you know.
Have you ever done the South Park where you turn around and then you could like have dinner or like a drink?
The butters.
You walk like that.
I've always wanted to try,
Do
but I still
crossword
haven't done it.
puzzles?
Have you guys ever done it?
No.
What?
I've never done it,
Yeah,
but
I've
it's one of
done
those things.
Done what?
Nice. Like South Park had an episode where we've actually been the original toilet person that designed the toilet. We've been doing it wrong the whole time. That the porcelain where the
Oh,
function,
yeah,
you
yeah.
actually have like it's
Table.
meant to read or like
Yes.
so you actually are supposed to sit
But
like.
it can't
That's
Yeah.
actually
I
a
think
that's a Daniel Tosh bit too.
I'm wondering what came first because South Park did it a long time ago.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So it's like
Like a certain
I'm just saying
dinners.
there is a Daniel Tosh bit about it.
about doing that.
And then
yeah.
he's like, it's like you have to take your pants all the way off to do it.
Oh yeah,
You
which
have-
is very comfortable.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's why the public would be weird.
Yeah. Could you imagine if you saw someone like go in that direction? Like, dude, what
But
are
then
you doing,
like
bro?
your junk is sitting on the back of the toilet seat.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's like technically it's really not meant because like there's,
Oh yeah.
there's like a
Oh yeah. Yeah.
an
I see.
outer edge for you. Otherwise, like you're just man, that's difficult.
Again, Ben Franklin is spinning in his grave right now.
First
my
world
God.
problems over here.
Yep. What about you, Beef? You got anything you want to bring up?
Yeah, so mine's much more serious. So we probably should have done mine then gone to Koichi, but to like lighten the mood here. But the other day, I had, and I've had multiple times of this, based in Orange County, LA. I've seen this a ton of times. I think we all have. We had a homeless person blocking traffic. So so the way the affair was is the guy, the speed limit in this street is about 55 miles an hour. So he's stopping people, almost got clips. But the guy's flipping someone off. Like he's just flipping people off. So my question is has the growing problem with homelessness increases in Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, pretty much all the major cities in California and really throughout the United States. What should, what's our solution with it? Like what do you guys, and I'd love to hear it because, and I personally have so many opinions and maybe not the best, best ethically opinions, but I just want to hear your guys' and if you have, I want to hear. I'm going to start with Nightmare on this one, yeah.
All right. Yeah, definitely there are some ethical solution or non-ethical solutions. It's hard because I think I'm not reinventing the wheel here. You can't help people that don't want to help themselves.
That is very true.
Or don't want help from other people too. Hey, Nightmare, is your mic on?
Mother lover.
How long was that off for?
Yeah. Did I just flip it off?
Sorry, I let that go too long. I thought it was going to come
Yeah.
back on because it kind of had a glimpse where it came back.
Yeah, you gotta watch that. Yeah. I even have a guard over it. But basically, I was saying,
It's not guarding much.
yeah, it's got a. I was saying you can't help people that don't.
Remember, guys, 6th episode. Okay, we're still learning. This
No.
is the first time.
No. Episode 1
Of
of
the
new
Taco.
new setup.
Remember when I said low quality? I changed it. We're medium quality. Medium quality.
We're bringing it up, but yeah, you can't.
Oh.
You can't help people that don't want help or don't want to accept help, and you can't keep throwing taxpayer money down the drain on people that don't want to, that are content with living on the street, doing drugs. And like I don't know if it came through, but there's different types of homeless people. There's your mental health issues where you can do as much as you can to help them, but at some point, what is I guess the question still is what do you do? And I don't have that answer. There's so many things that can be done that who knows if what would work. We've tried making drugs illegal. We've tried putting people away, and now homeless people are committing crimes, petty crimes to go to jail to get a roof over their head and a couple meals, and then get kicked back out onto the street, and then they just go out and commit more crime. So it's a person problem. It's sad, and I wish I knew how to fix it. I don't have the answers. Goichi, you got?
I agree with you. I don't know how you help the people that don't want to be helped and like they just get into bad stuff. But I do believe there are people that just fall under like unfortunate circumstances or whatnot. And I think one solution to help the homeless, like especially people who like want to work, they just, it's hard for me to say like, because everyone's situation is different. Everyone comes from different types of lifestyles and stuff like that. But I really believe like if you're homeless but you want to work, you want to find a way to not be homeless anymore and support yourself, right, or your family. I say we come up with some type of elite like cruise ship, and it's a way to like pretty much the ship can pay for itself with the homeless people working on it, but it's a program built on the ship where like you're away from drugs, you're away from the influences like from the city life and stuff like that. But it's a course to get your life back on track. So you learn business classes, you learn how to cook, you learn how to clean, you learn how to take care of your bills. So like everything that school didn't teach you of like hard knocks and like street smarts, that's what they apply on the ship. And like there's a program that you go through, and then once you're done, you graduate, you go back to the normal life. Where like let's say you don't leave the ship till you find a job in like the state or territory you want to live in, and then like there's a program that helps you like go through all of that process. So I think like if you could figure out something like a business model like that where it could, the people can technically pay their way by working on the ship or I don't know, creating products for the entity, like to sell or whatever, some type of trade. I think that would be kind of cool because it separates you from like your normal lifestyle and environment, and it gives you an opportunity to like if you say you want to do this, put your money where your mouth is type of scenario. So. That would be my solution. Other than like the people that don't want to do it, I mean, we can't. If you just push them off somewhere else, like let's say they're in a nice city and you just push them out of that nice city, they're going to go somewhere else and cause terror somewhere else. So like, really, there is no other option in that case, like other than like you put them all together on an island, and let them destroy themselves. But yeah, I think that's the only idea I really have for something like that. So. I'll pass it on to Coach.
I have to definitely agree that there's some questionable solutions when it comes to ethics. I think that Nightmare brings up a really good point in that it's really hard. It's not hard. It's impossible to help somebody who does not want to receive help and doesn't want to get out of where they currently are. And I think that goes for not only like homeless individuals, but for other instances as well. But it's I think it's really hard to like keep, like he had said, like keep putting a bunch of like taxpayer money or putting stuff towards things that are only getting worse because people are choosing to go a certain route when it comes to certain things. As someone who's like been down to San Diego, I think I know Beef and I have been to at least a baseball game down in San Diego, where getting off the freeway to the ballpark, you just see like huge homeless camp after homeless camp going, and it's just these people that like they don't move, they don't get kicked out of the street, they don't get told to like move, they just have shopping carts, they have old tents, tarps, easy ups, boards and like old fencing and stuff, like they're basically making permanent like housing or semi-permanent housing in the public streets. And it's not like they're not being asked to move, and it's not like they're like voluntarily like wanting to get out of there and do something else in some of those situations. So yeah, I think it's one of those things. I think a lot of it is I think like some can be attributed to the way things are run in a state. And as someone who's not living in California anymore, without getting too political necessarily, I think that there have definitely been some poorly executed plans from the people who make decisions on how to handle things and how to go about stuff. And I think it definitely hasn't helped. But I think also some of the states of the facts of the state, like housing is just astronomical. So it's like, who wants to, if you could live on the street and be okay with life, why would you want to? Why do some of those people don't want to like go in and take on responsibilities of that stuff if you can just keep your status quo going and you're going to be taken care of.
I have one thing I want to add on to Goichi's answer. And I thought it made me think of the old school Australia, how it was like a prison colony, and like just sending all the homeless, or people that want a job and like want rehabilitation somewhere else, and then letting them come back into the. I thought that was funny.
So that actually was that was the exact thing I was gonna bring up. That's the
Holy,
craziest
really?
thing. Yeah, that's nuts. Because I was about to. Yeah.
So
So yeah, if anyone so go in history because we are based on a history group or so prisoners. That's how Australia was pretty much founded. If for everybody at home or if you didn't know that, so like England pretty much would exile people like prisoners to Australia, you know, and then I think in 1901 the UK granted them independence. They didn't fight for their own independence, but they they grant. I think I would have just kept it going.
you
but
have it.
Yeah, you just have your independence, but they gave them in 1901 their independence. I think that's right here. But the reason why I think that's important is, and why that should, I'm gonna even piggyback now off of that, is I do like the idea of taking a ship. I think what would even be cooler, because I'm gonna add to what you just said, because I even think it's a better idea, is if there is reluctancy to work on that ship, they're exiled to either Antarctica or the Arctic, and the reality is when you know everybody knows about the Wild Wild West, Manifest Destiny. Anyone at home about Manifest Destiny, what that was when the Louisiana Purchase took place. There was all this land, right? And, you know, people say it was stolen from the Indians and or Native Americans or whatever the right terminology is, but essentially, you were given land. Like people like they would be in New York and they would just leave everything behind to just take a stake of land. That's why claim jumping that's actually where it comes from. So all that stuff. But the reason why that's important is life, like survival of the fittest, is the ultimate way to humble you into fighting for life. And I think those people look at survival of the fittest. They look at society, I think, differently than the way we look at society. We look at it as we have goals that we follow, and that's why it falls back into the whole goals conversation. Is when goals are eventually lost, and these people don't want to live in our society anymore. And so based on your carnival idea, which I think, so my suggestion was going to be to exile them into those places. So I even think, to add on to what you said, I think a combination of what Nightmare brought up with Australia and what you said is that by the time that, like, Antarctica that's a long cruise up there, but then if they don't show any sign of, like, it's a timetable. If you're going to be out there and you have to fight to survive. And we've watched the show. If anyone's ever watched Alone,
Awesome show.
yeah, it's a really good show. And Alone is pretty much, yeah, it's like it's really hard. Like, it's amazing. I can't even imagine what the first humans dealt with. But I think that would wake them up from their slumber, because they feel, one, they won't have to deal with the same laws that are in the United States or whatever country they're from. And then two, they have to survive. They have to figure it out. And
like basic tools, like they don't have anything to like build off of or litter, you know. So yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, because I think like the whole like you said, take drugs away from them, right? Drugs won't be up there. And maybe they'll learn to smoke some of the plants or something, or mushrooms, and they'll have a good time. But
no more penguins.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that would be mine. So I just thought, like, that's a really crazy problem. That's that, again, everybody's mentioned it here, that the government tries to, in their best efforts, to resolve. And I look at it.
It's really bad. Hawaii too is really bad too. So
It's nuts. Like, in my mind, I feel like a reporter.
You can still use
Channel 5
the
News.
mic.
you should have saw this guy on.
You can still use the
Channel
mic.
5 News.
I turned down the pickup, so your mic shouldn't pick him up.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
We're
That's
good.
the way. Hey guys, welcome back. So we're here. We got 4 segments to go. The next one is it's a remix of the second one. You can actually watch our second episode on YouTube if you guys want to get a feel for it. I also think we released an individual podcast, a Junto podcast moment for What If. I think we did, or you guys can check on our YouTube channel. So how this works is, in taking from Goichi's What If is just is saying what if and imagining something, right? So when you say what if it was like this, that's pretty much what the message of it is. The remix is typically, when we did it the first time, we did a go around and we did all what if moments, and we all kind of came up like, what if it was this way, or what if it was that way. So for this one, Goichi, who I'm going to hand off to, is going to do his what if moment, and he's going to create a world. So the world's going to be created. So so listen up to whatever he comes up with, because it could be crazy. And from there, it becomes a round robin of Spencer. Oh, I can't believe I did it. Coach. Who's Spencer?
10 push-ups.
Coach,
Yeah.
Coach, Nightmare, and myself we're gonna be just hitting into that world, right? And it keeps going. It actually goes around 3 times. So that's the fun part, and you get to say 2.
Oh, boy.
So Goichi, because he created it, he has to add to 2 of those. So when you're ready, or add 2 to that world.
So we're adding to the world that he creates, basically.
Correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
he's gonna come up what if the world was that way. It doesn't have to be like a world. Like it doesn't. It's like, oh, what if Mars was this? It doesn't have to be that.
This
It
is
could
pretty
be.
simple for
Yeah.
you guys to build off on. So my what if is, what if we lived in a world where you had a choice, where you could live in 3 different areas. You can live in sea, land, or air, and we had the capabilities to swim as fast as like any sea animal, or fly up in the air. Like it's just imagine a world where there is no limitations to our abilities in our minds, where you can fly up, you can create a home in the air, you can create it on land, or do you create it in the sea? So that's my what if.
You get the honor of passing it to the next person.
Okay, so I will pass it to Nightmare.
All right. So what if we lived in a world where you can? Is it any? You get all 3, or you have to choose?
That's your
Yeah.
choice.
All right.
It's up to you.
Well, what if?
And you explain your reasoning, like why.
All right. Oh man. Definitely, I think I would go with air, just because it's infinite. You have pretty much infinite space, but like, what keeps it up? Well, I'm trying to think of my what if to go with it. What if whatever's keeping everything in the air or everything in the ocean, what's keeping that? What if everything fails and just like everything falls to the ground and everyone's house floods? It's just chaos. Man, so damn.
Is that your what if?
That's
your what if?
yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Good.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what you feel like.
That counts towards the
Yeah.
remix.
So everyone.
I gotta work off of yours.
Yeah,
or
so-
coach has gotta work off.
Yeah.
of yours.
So everyone's paying for a service that's keeping their stuff in the air or the water out of the sea, and that it's a tenuous situation. Like there's no outages. You cannot have an outage. So I'm gonna pass it to you, Beef. This is your
So
deal.
what if there's a disaster recovery business based on that? So like if for example for the air side, so like a disaster recovery. So let's say in that what if scenario. So to kind of recap to go around the round robin was Goichi's was you can live in 3 different air. It was air, sea, and land. And you can build homes, because I started going Super Mario into my mind with how the build up was there.
Mm-hmm.
But and then Nightmare passed it over and said, what if you pay for in that world you pay for a service that keeps everything up or keeps everything going, essentially, right? So I would say what if there was this company that offers disaster recovery to all 3 of those? So in that sense, in disaster recovery for everybody at home is, so if the disaster is like the service just goes out, there's almost like it blimps right over to this other service where it keeps it afloat, where it catches you. So like if we're up there cooking, it's a Sunday, we're watching the NFL, and they're playing NFL in the air because there's different leagues. There's the air NFL.
Oh, the ANFL.
Yeah, I mean, like, who knows what's going on there now? I'm thinking Jedi too,
in the
I
cloud,
see
Cloud City.
I see like Hayden Christensen falling from the sky, like catching the thing. But yeah, what if there was disaster recovery for that in that world? Like that's the first thing I think about. Like they have to catch. Disaster recovery works for the air people, works for the land people, and because the land people need to be protected, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because let's say there's a guy out there that's not paying for disaster recovery,
Or he's suicidal.
he's suicidal and he just like throws himself off. That he's gonna literally like Goichi and I are sitting there looking up and being like, hey, we're protected, and a visible shield just hits us. What if that existed? And then the land people too. I would imagine
Earthquakes and volcanoes.
Oh
and
yeah, and tornadoes in the sea. Yeah, that'd be
God.
so. Building off of that, Coach, because that's a hard one to build off. What if there was a disaster recovery in that situation? What would you build off of on that?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked.
first off, I'd like to say that this what if segment, to me, it really reminds me of the beginning of a movie trailer, like for Transformers, where it's like, what if there was a world where one man had 3 places to live, and like it goes off into that stuff. So that's what this really reminds me of right now.
Shout out to Michael Bay.
Which maybe a future sponsor, we don't know. Maybe he'll produce some episodes for us. Okay, so I had a what if planned before we got into the disaster recovery for all this.
I kind of gave you a couple you could go off of. Kind of made it open for you.
I just watched Jurassic Park the other day, and it kind of gave me like a what if when you gave us the three scenarios. So I'm gonna kind of I hope this is allowed, but I want to kind of I'm gonna sidestep it a little bit, but give a what if, because I think this plays into disaster recovery, because all 3 of these are capable of a full blown disaster. But what if those 3, like the land, sea, and the air, you had all the different like dinosaurs from like Jurassic Park as like means of transportation on all those, like.
Well, that went left.
Wow, disaster recovery covers dinosaur-related
Yeah.
accidents.
Yeah, like you had like the pterodactyl as like you're flying. It was like the people in the air got to fly on pterodactyls.
So you're saying
if you're on the ground,
for that?
you got to ride raptors or T-Rexes, and then you had like the Mosasaurus for like the people, for the Aquaman people.
So it goes back to Goichi. Because that took the weirdest turn.
That
out of
is
disaster
amazing.
recovery. I was like, no, DR was bad. And
Hey, this is
one
what if,
could
baby.
say he sidestepped the whole DR thing. He didn't really acknowledge that, but I would like
Yeah.
to know how dinosaurs add to the DR. I think I gave it to him with the insurance.
This is what if, though.
Yeah, I guess.
What
I
if?
guess what?
What if the cycle comes full circle and another meteor takes out all the dinosaurs again, but we foresee it? So instead of saving the dinosaurs, we decide we're just going to live in outer space. So what if something like that happens and we decide to just ditch everything again on planet Earth, and we just decide to live in outer space instead?
That was good. That was really good. I have to give props. That's probably the best response we've gotten so far. Like, to what if, you know what I mean? Like, to come off that.
Those poor dinosaurs just got brought back just to get murdered again by
I know.
another.
They can't catch a break.
Seriously. Well, hold on. We have a comment. What if you could just time travel to whenever you wanted?
That's the Legends. That's the
man.
Legends TV show. You should watch it. It's pretty good.
Oh, that sounds good. Sorry, my eyes are burning right now. Got something in my eye. Oh man, so we're in space now.
The final frontier.
Yeah. Man. What if? Yeah. What if you drift into the galaxy and we find intelligent life and we take over their planet, and it's like a crazy paradise better than Earth, and we reestablish ourselves on the land, in the sea, and in the sky, and we basically just took over the planet and its inhabitants, whether they be intelligent or not. I'll leave that up to you, Beef.
So what if in that scenario, because and this is based us on a Discovery Channel documentary I watched, that had said if you are, and I want to give background to my response here before I just throw this out here, but if the moon, they theorize if the moon was like a foot further or a foot closer, what we would look like our body structure would be completely different based on that. So what if in that scenario it flipped, where women of the future have the ding dong and men have the vagina? Coach?
So wait, hold on. We get to a new we get to a new planet.
World, yeah, and that's where
and
it
they
switched, yeah.
and their males have vaginas, and,
Yeah,
and their
and it
females.
switched, yeah.
Those are the aliens.
No, that's us.
Clever girl.
That's us. We morphed. Our bodies have morphed because
switched.
of science. There's
Okay.
chemicals in the air, and
Yeah.
you're lucky because it's gonna be Coach on this. next
Well, yeah, I'm lucky because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't wait till you hear what he's gonna say.
one. Coach is like, why did I have to go after Matt or go after Beef?
Why are you giving him more time?
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah. Go for it.
Go for it.
All right.
Coach.
What if? Now, hear me out here. What if this new planet also had dinosaurs?
No. You got to talk about anatomy, man. The anatomy
No, I'm
matters,
gonna-
okay?
I'm not gonna count that one. Okay,
Did
so
you
how
get
about
plastic
this?
surgery there? Okay.
What if we all went Kris Jenner and we all had switched up anatomy here? So what if women who are now men, or the women who are the men on their planet, finally realized how difficult it is for guys sometimes to interact with the opposing sex?
Can you repeat the?
Yeah.
Repeat what?
Can you
So
run
So-
that back?
Koichi can go off of that. What if?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to better put this. It's coming. It's
So seeing
it's
the hardships.
formulating.
The hardships.
It's formulating better in my head than it is coming out of my mouth
If
here.
only we could be there right now.
Yeah. What if you guys could be in my head thinking, like, seeing what I'm thinking?
That you
Um,
could say that. You could say that as a what if because
Oh,
if
man.
you're saying
I'm
what if, you
saying-
could see how my brain is as I'm thinking about different us switching sexes in the future on a different planet. That technically counts part of that because your head's a different world.
I don't know. I was thinking my thought was if our anatomies are switched, what if on this new planet the females then made the first move for guys, like guys became the ones that get pursued.
I am moving
That's
immediately.
that's
So it's us
that was,
as women pursuing the men like it's always been.
yeah. And so then the people that came from the first planet go to the new planet. That's like a culture change now for the women who don't have switched genitalia.
God, whoever has a wiener is just getting. They always have to be the ones that are pursued.
Yeah.
Good luck, Goichi.
Yeah, good luck,
We
Goichi.
got one more it's one more round robin, and then it's fun though. It makes you think.
And coach can stop being tortured.
Well, you are the final say. I'm gonna have a fun one
So,
for you.
what if it comes to the point where it doesn't matter what genitalia, how you've been transformed, or anything like that? Like, eventually, both sides, like the aliens and us coming to their planet, start becoming hybrids, where it's just like one entity, or it's like there's no like single normal DNA or entity anymore. Like, it's just you're a thing. Like, you're just like there's a new saying for like a multi like different type of person, and like there is no like man, woman. It's like a hybrid model now with the aliens and us, and with our like changes. So what if we became a hybrid model of them, and then we attracted other planets and adopted their hybrid, and eventually it just became a melting pot of planets versus countries.
So pretty much the LA. We become
Yeah.
the LA of
Pretty
the,
much the
yeah.
LA
Of
but
the
on
galaxy.
The universe of the galaxy. And then at that point, there is no way to define like what you are, who you are, where you came from. It's just a huge galaxy melting pot.
What if that happened, and then like, but people still found a way to like group themselves into weird groups and create gangs and be racist in weird ways, like, oh, you're a third Ching Chong Pata. Oh man, I'm 75% get out of here. I'm gonna shoot you. And like, it just never, like, we're just like, intelligent life is destined to be to group itself into groups and never be no peace. Go ahead, Beef.
So to clarify for the guests at home or the visitor or the viewers at home, you're saying people would in this society people would still progress to find division.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
they're gonna find a way to be racist.
Goichi had the spirit, and I wish I went right after Goichi because I had good stuff on that one, and then it took. So I have to go off of what if it was different. Man, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Because I could take a cop out, but I'm not gonna do that. Let me see.
Dinosaurs.
Like dinosaurs. It's gonna from the coach's book on that one.
What if dinosaurs ate all people?
Clever girl.
Oh my god.
Imagine being like, never mind. No, I'm stalling if I do that. I was gonna stall for a little bit, but
Dude, do it. Who cares?
well, I'll take a second. Imagine if like you're about to die and you just say like an epic badass line like that. You're just like you're,
But
you're just like
for nobody.
yeah,
For nobody.
yeah,
Just
like,
yourself.
You're like I'm just gonna go like the guy's literally about to get eaten by a raptor and he looks at the raptor and he gets to.
Your cool like sign out.
I'm not cool at all, so I think like I'd.
Ow! And then I die.
I can't eat like.
Mine would be like Cowabunga, dude.
Cow,
or something.
dude. That's Ninja
Wow.
Turtles, right?
Yeah,
Ninja
I would be
Turtles.
so enthusiastic
You and your
about
Ninja
it too.
Turtles.
You know, so when I'm just still stalling here. So just as for the, I guess at home, there was a kid when I think it was like kindergarten or pre-K, and I was really nervous when I went to that first. It was like it was kind of like they watched you. It was like a pre-K because you didn't really learn in that, but this kid was on the you know those tables where you eat where you like slide in and it's like connected.
And it's like
all
kind
that?
of graded, like it has
Yeah. He was on that. And he jumps off and yells "Cowabunga," and I was like, dude, I'm gonna need to talk to that kid. I think that kid's probably like trying to go for governor of California right now or something. He's gonna.
I'd
like,
vote for him.
Yeah, seriously.
Just off of that.
I always thought about that.
Yeah,
I was like, my dad said, oh, this is my dad said. I was like, Dad, how do you make a friend? And my dad, this is when I was a little kid. My dad's like, you go up and you say, hey, I am say my name, and you shake their hand. And I'm not kidding. That's like literally what I did with like one kid, and he totally ran away from me. And then I look over, and that Cowabunga kid, I walk straight up. Oh, I remember his name. His name's Cody. And Cody, I ran up and I said it to him, and he shook my hand, and he's like, "Nice to meet you." And I was like, "Dude, that kid's the realest." So that's a pretty sweet line. Cowabunga would be. I would like.
I know what yours would be.
Go ahead.
Yippee-ki-yay,
Oh,
motherfucker.
dude.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
When in Rome.
Yeah. Oh, God. All right,
so in that scenario, in an alien world of random segregation that we're all like
somehow taking place.
What if there was okay, all right. So what if you believed in that, you were pro focusing on the differences of people. So in your scenario, right, like focusing on the differences, people still find a way to do it. What if the world government there, or no, we'll do solar system because Goichi had mentioned different planets. So in that system, they enact a law, a galaxy law, where they can take pieces of your brain out where if you're against all of that, you're against like, hey, no, like, you're about individual thinking and thinking straight, and you're like, oh no, I care about the person, their mind, and how they think, and their goals, and all that, and they could take that out of your mind, and then make you focus on the differences. You mean so they figure out that because in this science, like they're able to remove it out, and you become so almost like cloning, or not cloning, but brainwashing in a way, but you're actually removing the piece of the brain to do that.
Scientific segregation.
Scientific segregation. Coach, passing to you.
I got this one.
1776.
This one is, unfortunately, I'm sorry to disappoint my fans out there, but this one is not dinosaur related. So I know people are probably looking for the three-peat here, but
God.
So what if, based on I actually really like the brainwashing part because it plays into my what if. What if they're taking that part of the brain out and it's like that brainwashing, you're kind of like a neutering, I guess, of people's ability to think. And there was like an actual matrix of this like civilization, and there was like a group where they had like their own like Morpheus trying to like set people free by either like get them back their portion of the brain, or like
Did you watch The
Stop.
Matrix before
Yeah.
Jurassic Park? I'm
Stop,
just curious.
stop sucking up to beef. You're totally sucking up to beef. Who
Yeah.
came up with the? Who
So-
came up with this question?
so I gotta be honest. I actually watched The Matrix today. So
I knew it.
but what if like I mean they're brainwashing people and like there's a segment of this population that's like we want to set you free and they pick somebody at random to be like the one and give them back like their section of their brain and then they've got that running with them.
I think I'll give you credit for that. That was a good one. Because I'm
Thank
proud
you.
of you. Even movie references is what I go to. I use like most. I'm actually really proud of Goichi because it was amazing how he come up with some things off the bat like that.
Yeah.
I'll say Nightmare really stuck to social issues on all. And I was like, all right. Well, I was like, I'll go off of that.
You all get to see a little bit of our real
Well, it was
personal.
social issues, and then
I would say we all stuck to our guns on that one.
Yeah, you all got to see a little bit of our personalities.
Yeah, where our brain
Yeah.
goes in.
Andrew wants
do
like
you-
the gang race
What
wars.
do you care about? I don't want them, but I know that no matter what, people are gonna figure it out. My
It's people like you that make that continue.
Well, it's funny because it's funny because you said that you like that the references. My reference actually was it was actually a Rick and Morty reference.
Oh,
That
nice, yeah.
Rick had actually dated this this organism that like takes over people's bodies.
Oh, Unity.
Yeah, Unity, and there was like it became a peaceful harmony like planet because it was all basically one entity, but they all kind of look alike like in their facial features, their skin color, everything is pretty uniform, but once the activities of the episode progress, Unity starts losing her hold over the people of the planet, and you find out that they're racist over some really small defect about themselves. Like it's like their nipples are different, and like they just freak out and like I'm a pointy nipple person. Screw you, flat nipple person. And like it's just like it no matter it, and it kind of even goes back farther to Fairly Odd Parents to where they're all, I don't know if you've seen the episode, but they're all gray blobs, and it just becomes, oh, I'm grayer and blobbier.
That's what Gattaca. So I know I showed.
Mhm.
I know you guys weren't the biggest fans of that one, but Gattaca goes.
I like
into,
Gattaca.
Like, yeah, I knew you. I actually thought the reason why well, no, that was the one we watched when we
It was at your place.
Yeah, it was with you, Jen, and
so I wasn't watching it.
Yeah, you weren't
no,
watching
it was the one about like where it was Ethan Hawke, where like he's trying to like.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was okay.
The part,
Wasn't bad.
where I thought like it would really like hit you hard, but I was hoping you were watching it, was the part where he's swimming against he's racing his brother, who's his brother's like the perfect human, and he's like, he says to the brother, he's like, how are you the brother's like, how are you beating me? And he's like, when we came, like every time we go out here, I had nothing. I pretty much his mindset was like, I'm not coming back, like giving it everything. And I thought of you, like I was like, oh man, I know Goichi's gonna love this part.
it was
I did like that part.
Yeah,
That was
that's like
cool.
that part,
Yeah.
like
Huge symbolism.
It gives me like goosebumps. But I thought you of all people would like as much as I liked it.
It literally has that analogy about like you drown until you can swim. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
I
and
didn't-
like just if you really want to believe in yourself, you just go for it.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the line is like, I didn't save anything for the swim back.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I didn't save that.
Damn.
I remember I got goosebumps when I first heard that, and I was like, this movie could be horrible at the end, and that line alone was like how people like. That's how I feel in life sometimes. Where I'm like, that's how you kind of approach it. But I was gonna say something on that's kind of that bringing up Gattaca is that I wonder what the first of that is, where it's like they started. What's the first story where like no matter what, even with those things, where in Gattaca, to explain to the viewers at home, is pretty much in this future, everybody is birthed through science, and you get to choose the best of the best through genetics. Through your genetics. So they'll cut out all the defects and the bad stuff, and they'll have specifics of like when you're gonna die and like what kind of like what you're gonna be, your strengths are and all that. And Ethan Hawke's character is born naturally, so he has to. And I don't want to tell too much, but he has to fight against that. And so, but the whole point of why I brought up Gattaca is that even they discriminate against natural born people in that movie, which is really like I can't even imagine that like you're naturally born. That's all. That's as a person that's naturally born, we're like, what the heck, like. imagine a world where we just go in. I always think of that and like.
But is that the norm, or is the way we do it the norm? No.
Yeah, and it could one day it could like one day it could be that, and we're like people are like, how did they do it? Were they
Right.
naturally
Yeah.
born? You know?
Normal
Yeah.
subjective. It all
Yeah.
depends on
Yeah,
where
different
you're
time.
living and yeah.
Well, it's just like kids nowadays. They're like, why would you need a payphone, like on the street?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I watched a Phone Booth the other day. God, I love that movie. And this is just a random thought.
Colin Farrell.
Colin
that,
Farrell
yeah.
and Keith Sutherland.
Oh, okay.
Basically, Keith Sutherland's like this serial killer who like goes after people that don't appreciate life or just bad people, and Colin Farrell's like kind of a scumbag.
It's not the one where he's stuck in that phone booth, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, is that movie?
God,
Yeah.
it's so good. But that was just a random thought. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
I didn't want to derail you.
Shout out to Colin Farrell, Kiefer Sutherland.
SWAT was a great movie. By
SWAT
the way.
was good.
Hello,
SWAT
Cool
was
J.
a great movie.
Hello, Cool J.
Ladies love Cool James.
All right, so I think
Yeah.
we're
German-
that SWAT comment definitely will push us into the next segment. So I really thought about the group, and so I thought what if made us uncomfortable, and I hope it made everybody uncomfortable a little bit. And I'm proud of all of you guys for getting through it because that's exactly what I was trying to do. I was like making yourself uncomfortable where you have to think and you're kind of put on the spot. It even backfired on me where I had to do it.
Dinosaurs, man.
Yeah.
This next one's a little bit hard for most people at home, where I think it's hard for most people in the world to not only do for their other people in their lives, but also themselves. And it's called Hi5Lo5. So when you say high five, low five, right? So that's kind of that's where it comes from. So in this segment, each one of us will say one good thing about our mind. So appreciation of our mind. Coach, you listening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I don't want to hear about dinosaurs halfway through this. And that you
He's
thought
got them
about
now.
dinosaurs.
What if that's his high five, Beef?
Well,
Dinosaur.
if dinosaurs are in his mind all the time. Like, what if you could see like the Puff, the comic book, and it's just dinosaurs. Like, Coach is just thinking about dinosaurs all day long. So one good thing about your mind, one good thing about what you believe in. So not necessarily spirituality, but just what you believe into yourself and like why you believe that's a good thing. Like it could be anything. It could be like an actual belief into society, or it could be just how about you go your life, or it's ambiguous. So you guys take it from there. And then here's a fun one. One good thing about you that you admire about the other member, either mind or belief. So you go around real quick and you say, I appreciate this about this person, I appreciate that, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to start with Coach because I think he's the only one we haven't started with on today's.
All right. So can you please give me the three again? It's the first one is something that I like about my mind.
Yeah, correct. So mind, that's ambiguous too. So your mind could be, again, because belief is part of the mind too. So you have to separate. But the way I looked at when I wrote mind was more of like how you live, like how you see things or how you live, like what's something about you. It could be even your like your personality, right? It could be like how you handle things. It could be any of that. So that's mind. Belief is more of like could be spirituality or more of how you like. It's what's like a virtue of yours, like what matters to you as a person. So it's kind of that's distinguished. I should separate that out a little bit. And then the third thing is, yeah. So yeah, both of those for sure. Like you're just and go however you want. I'm not gonna be like, oh no, that's not ant kind of thing. I'm just gonna go through your gut as long as it's not dinosaurs again, and then and again, and again, and again, and then so the other thing is just again. Going around the round robin and telling each one of us, what's one thing that you admire about the way our mind is, or like our belief system, or whatever. It could be any of that. So, Coach, you can start it off and then pass it on as you finished.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so to start off, the I guess I like about my mind, or how my mind operates is that I think, and I'd like to say that I consider, or I guess like I put other people before myself when it comes to like my family and friends. So I don't know, it's just something that I've liked because I tend to like want to take care or want to help like my family and friends, and that's just something that I'd rather be someone like that than someone who doesn't like care for my family and friends. So I do like that about myself, and that I want to be around them and I want to help them out. I would say like one like belief I have is like I tend to believe, or I feel like I have this belief that like everybody has like a good side to them, and it's possible to bring that good side out in people. Uh, just with like the right way of communicating with everybody, I feel like being pretty personable and stuff. Like I feel like you're able to bring out like a good side of everybody just by saying the right things or doing the right things. So I like tend to believe that everyone's got like this good segment to them or really good part about them that can be brought out or highlighted. And so I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna start with Goichi for things that I like. I think this can honestly go for all three of you, but I'm gonna use it for Goichi first. But like I appreciate like how your minds are in terms of like how you think G and like honesty with people, and like when we have conversations and how you kind of address things with a pretty open mind, but like a very honest approach when it comes to stuff. Nightmare. Oh, do you agree?
Yeah, thanks, Coach. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Nightmare. I do like one thing, like the thing that I see like from your side is that you're always, again, these things could all be used for everybody, because I think that the four, like I could apply these and I see these in all four of us, or at least the three of you. But someone that is like always readily available, or someone who's always there, and like how you approach, it's like you make yourself available for everybody, like whether we hang out or talk or anything like that. It's like I know that you're always going to be able to pick up the phone. And lastly, beef. The thing that I would say,
Thanks,
do
bud.
you like the virtue is that, or the way I see your mind is that your mind is consistently thinking not only about you're thinking about everybody else and what's good or what's great, what can you do to help that person out, but you're also thinking like 5 steps ahead for those people, when like you're thinking about things that they don't know that they need to think about, and like you give people a lot of resources and a lot of things to consider, and you like have this like vast knowledge that you're able to supply with those people because of like how you operate, and like how that mind like operates of yours. Like you're able to like think about things that people didn't know that needed to think about, and you're able to approach it from a pretty honest perspective with that. So I like that about you guys.
Who you
Awesome.
gonna pass to? Coach, you get the privilege.
Next, I'm gonna pass my baton. Off to Nightmare.
Thanks, bud. Thanks for that. I do appreciate it. My how I high five, how I in my mind, I really like that I don't see superficial things about people. I don't see race or weight or that kind of stuff. I like that I was raised an individualist kind of reason. I don't see race. I don't see that kind of stuff. I see the person and who they are and their value and what they bring and that kind of stuff. I like that. I think my background being mixed race is definitely contributed to that, but also my upbringing definitely helped. Shout out to my parents. That was really good. You want to say something?
For the user or for everyone at home, what's your mixture?
Oh, my mixture is I am a quarter Chinese, a quarter Lebanese, a quarter Irish, and a quarter Mexican. So I have no affiliate. I have no loyalty to filling out a government document. Is so annoying to me.
If you were on a planet.
God. Yeah. So
You're
let's.
only on my peaceful planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. If only.
Yeah, with those dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Only if there's dinosaurs. But if I'm gonna go around the table, I'll start with beef.
Did I catch it? So your belief is, did I get your mind and belief, or was it?
Belief.
Yeah. You got a high five again, buddy.
Yeah. Belief. Yeah. I guess I like going with the individuality. I like individual freedoms. I, I I stand by that hugely. Whether as long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to do and ingest whatever you want. As long as you're not hurting anybody. As soon as that, as soon as you infringe on someone else's right to live or to do what they want to, then that's when you're overstepping. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't care really what you do as long as you're not affecting anybody. And I feel like that's a very freeing concept that some people they think that, but really what they're doing is infringing on other people's rights, and they need to be informed of what they're thinking, what they believe is actually infringing on other people's rights.
Yeah, because I think sometimes when I hear that from when other people, there's always going to be an oppressed group. I think that's the reality of just the world. I mean, we just talked about how about homeless in a Carnival cruise and sending them up to like an extreme situation of sending them up to
Antarctica.
Arctic.
Yeah.
And it's like, but there's always going to be a group where life is not easy for the one of the groups will suffer, and it's like it just becomes this like view of like what's true equality and true freedom, and it's like people have there is such a growing difference between, and I feel like it's continuously growing differently of how compassion is interpreted, because I think true compassion, I agree with you, is that way where you everybody gets equal chance an individual chance to think the way that they want to think and be the one to think. But the irony is if as long as it's not infringing, like you said, is like that's kind of the interesting part, is like people don't look at that as infringing, and it's like they see it as like that other oppressed group is getting equal equality. And so it's like it's such a trippy
It's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah, it's just
there's always
interesting.
it's weird seeing one group rise to the top and another group not, but still being an individualist and being like, you could be that, but are you being held down, or any one of those things? But yeah, so to go around the group, beef, I definitely really appreciate, like I it's almost envy, to the point of envy. It's your ability to retain information and to do it, learn it, and now that's what I do now. Like I just do it. Like you don't do this. How do you not do this? That it's just like the tenacity to move forward and to pick up stuff, and now I know it, and now that's what I do. I just like it. I'm like really, I love it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Goichi, you are one of the straightest shooters. Like, I'm gonna echo a little bit of what Coach said. You are one of the straightest shooters. I just appreciate it. I know I'm not gonna get 1 ounce of bullshit from you. You are gonna shoot me straight, shoot anyone around straight, and it's refreshing, especially in a place that we live where it's kind of superficial. And I'm glad that Beef brought you into my life and
Likewise,
have
buddy.
you here, bud. Oh, Coach, you over there.
He's getting tired.
Yeah.
It's getting late over there.
Yeah, I think you're one of the most genuine people, that is the most warm and welcoming friends I've ever had the pleasure of having in my life.
Like a bear.
Yeah.
Definitely like a bear. It's a teddy bear, not a grizzly one that's gonna rip Leonardo DiCaprio's face off. But just one of you're so warm and welcoming, and I'm so glad Beef brought you into my life. So I'm gonna pass it over to Goichi to give us his high five.
All right. So one good thing I like about my mind is, and I had it on the top of my head and I forgot. I think the one thing about my mind is, it's a sponge. I really pride myself on being able to be the dumb guy in the class and just like ask the dumb questions, and that's how I've really like hustled and survived like all my life and gotten to where I am today. Is I was willing to do the dirty work and work my way up. I didn't care if I started at the bottom. I knew where my goals were, and I achieved that. And I think I did that by being a sponge. And I continue. I feel like my mind is never stagnant. I just want to keep growing it. And whether, even if I take 2 steps back, that means I got to take 4 steps forward. And that's really what it's about for me. Is like my mind is a sponge, and it's willing to talk to people, young, old, people my age. But I love hearing people's stories, learning from experience, and just absorbing knowledge any way I can. And obviously, I'm more of a social person, so that's like my strong suit is just absorbing from people and trying to listen. I like to talk a lot, so I need to be better about listening. But that's, yeah, my mind is definitely a sponge. And then one good thing about my belief is I'm a true believer now of like trusting the process. And I know that sounds so cliche, and everyone could say like, you know, it's easy to say that, but it's hard to do. I really think that's on the person. At the end of the day, not everyone's in different situations, but what I mean by trusting the process is if you know what you want in life and you have the capabilities, nothing's holding you back other than your own self and your excuses. If you have it within you to go after whatever you want, I mean, that's really what it is about trusting the process. Because even if you go after what you want and you fail, it doesn't mean life's over. You're not dead. You still are living and breathing. And that's what I wake up every day is I celebrate my wins. If I wake up, I'm still breathing. I have all my arms, legs, hands, everything. Like, I'm grateful. And if I have those capabilities within me, I'm going to trust the process and keep grinding. And even if I fail, I know, like, at the end of the day, as long as I keep persevering and just keep striving for my goals, then nothing's going to stop me but myself. So at the end of the day, I can trust the process. So I'm a strong believer about that. And then one good thing that I admire about each and every one of you, I'll start with Nightmare. I just love how you're always willing to help. In a sense, to me, like coach, you're a coach to me in many ways. Like when I need help with streaming, setting up my streaming, when I'm asking you just questions about guns, I mean, you're always willing. Like no hesitation. Just, hey man, like get on Discord. I'll help you out. Like you're a coach in my eyes. You're a teacher. When you know something very well, like it's not like passion doesn't even have to come out of you. It's just pure knowledge and like professionalism with you, and I appreciate that. One with Coach.
Always here for you, bud.
Thanks, man. Coach, you are definitely. I feel like you are the heart of our group, and you bring that warmth and vibe. Like, if someone told me like you got really mad, I don't know what that would look like, because even you being super mad, like you said, like you see the good in people, and I feel like that is like it comes off of you like a vibration, you know, like you just have this like warmth to you, man. And like whichever woman gets with Coach, dude, you and even Nightmare, like these guys have warmth that you wouldn't believe, you know. And it's like it just takes a good woman to have a good conversation with these guys, and you'd understand like why we consider like each of these guys our best friends, you know. So yeah. And
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So Beef, man, there's a lot of things I can go with, but I've always said this from day one when I met you. Dude, you have a heart of gold. Like, it's the purest hearts of hearts. Even though I know deep down inside your brain, like, you can think, like, I'm not perfect. And, like, no one is, right? But at the end of the day, dude, you try to execute to be, like, the best person you can be to others and yourself. But, like everyone said, like, you put others before yourself. And people may not even see it. Like, when you go out of your way to, like, give information or help people on stuff, like, some people would take it as like this is overwhelming or like this is none of your business. But at the end of the day, it just shows how much you freaking care, because you don't have to do that. You choose to. You make that choice and go the extra mile, right? And if people don't tell you, man, like that's a huge like thing that a lot of people don't do. They're selfish. So that's one thing is you have a heart of gold and you're selfless. So
Thanks, man.
yeah.
I almost teared up. not joking. Yes.
So true.
Okay, so before I go into my high five, so the high five is us talking to ourselves or high fiving each other. So because I didn't explain that well when we first started to the group. But high five, and you're high fiving yourself. The low five is you're low fiving other person, you know. And so I always think this is a good segment. I think everybody should do every morning is high five, two things of yourself, and then one thing of someone else. And because someone else needs to hear it, and like us hearing it, hopefully it helps people's night a little bit more. But everybody at home too, like you just don't know what people are going through, so low-fiving someone else is a good thing. So always high-five yourself too. So a lot of self-love. So my first thing for my mind is my high five to my mind is I don't stop on the way I think. Like I just keep going in my head. Like my mind doesn't stop. Like I don't even think when I sleep my mind shuts down that well. A lot of people would, it's very taxing. So a lot of people would, and that know me and have a lot of love for me, would think that that's me like, running too hard but it's one of those things where like I love that part about myself, where that part of my mind that tells me keep going is the person that's going to drive the best version of me. And sometimes it overtaxes and it brings out a negative side of me, which I think we can say that our best trait can sometimes bring out the worst in us, because we put feelings towards it, or we lose it. So for me though, I'm very appreciative of how I'm very similar to my mom and my dad too, honestly, with their way their minds are, and how they just keep going. And oftentimes, and not like when I'm around people, I always think like that's like the weird part of me, where I'm like always wondering, like, do people see me as this guy that like just he looks intense the whole time, And so it's like that intensity is like you got to learn to love that about yourself, because if you don't love that, if you don't love like, everybody's like, oh, I want to be this like hip, cool, or like, I'll use Zac Efron because Zac Efron popped in my head, but he seems really cool too, cool guy. But like everyone's like, oh, I wish I could be as chill as him, but it's like the reality is I'll never be as chill as Zac Efron. I'll never be as cool to say a cool one-liner when I die, like Cowabunga. I could never say that. But I think like then I really appreciate as I've gotten older like that part of me, because it drives who I am, and so it comes at a cost, but it's something I'm really appreciative. And my next high five is my belief. So I really believe whenever I do something, I really believe I can do it. Like that's just, like there doubts there, but and maybe something's wrong about this, but like there's something off about me about this, but anything I do, I know I'll finish it, and I'll know I'll get it done, and nothing will get in my way. And I know it could sound like confidence, but like that's just how I am. Like I see the world that if I want to do something, I see the world that I want to do. Like I see that world first, and then I want to go live in it. And I spend every day trying to go live in it. And sometimes, again, it comes at a cost where you're not appreciative of reality, or high-fiving yourself, or being grateful for what you have and all that. But every day I'm envisioning a world of tomorrow that I want to be in. And so I'm always. I know Matthew McConaughey said this as an Academy Award-winning speech one time. He's like, my hero is Matthew McConaughey 10 years in the future, and I'm always trying to meet my hero. And he said that, and I was like, I know it sounds really, because it's Hollywood, and I thought Matthew McConaughey hit it in the head, and it's like that. I'm not saying my hero is that, but my hero is that, but that's if you're constantly focusing on that, like his point was that you're always trying to be a better like if you want to meet your hero, or if you want to be this great person, right, in the future, and you want to work towards that, you always have to really believe it's going to happen. And a lot of people, they give up on I fail a lot at a lot of things, and it's like some things like Nightmare knows, like with sports, I fail a lot at, and I just my mindset is like I might take a break from it for a second, but I'll come back because I believe I can do it. And so I high-five myself on that. And then low-fiving everybody else. So I think belief-wise, we're all really similar. Like in terms of like we have some beliefs that are different. Like, but in terms of the individualism comment Nightmare had brought up, I feel like we all can really relate to that. I mean, even look at our ethnic backgrounds. Like I'm white, Coach is white.
I'm a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but I just wanted to start with that. Just say we're just.
I'm Japanese American.
We're so diverse.
What if we just let you? Back to what if? What if we just let you go with that? It's just like I'm white, Coach is white, and Goichi and I just looked at each other like, oh man, they're white.
What if?
Who
knew?
These guys are going to. They're staying on Earth.
With the dinosaurs.
Okay. So I'll go off of mind, and a lot of Coach hit it pretty hard. but all of you guys kind of have a really similar personality. You have a similar personality, and I feel like I'm the kind of the black sheep on my personality. I'm the weird, the unique one out of here. I don't know if you guys agree. You guys are
We
very,
love
yeah.
weird though.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Right, Dinosaur Man?
Yeah, that's what gets me going in the
I
morning.
I think you know what's funny is we're more close. You and I are more closer because you could come up with stuff like that off the fly with what if. That like it was trouble for you guys, but you and I are a little bit that crazy. We're a little off.
I'm a little bullshitter
Yeah,
sometimes.
but that little offness is like a good thing. It's like, you know, I always think about like Joaquin Phoenix and they're like, that dude's just off, but I'm like, I feel like I could do that if I really tried, you know, if
Like a fox.
yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna actually start Goichi because he embodies something that my father, growing up, my dad. I think I kind of like I could never do it. So I think a lot of growing up, I was like, man, it made me upset when I'd see it. But my dad has the ability to just laugh and smile when he's outside, you know, outside and like. And when he was outside, he'd do that, but he'd come in, and I wouldn't see that of him, right? He wouldn't always be laughing, and so it was like I saw, but as I've gotten older, I understand, especially as I've met Goichi, is you have this mindset, like, and I think this is the best mindset I still have ever heard, and it's ironic that it took me to meet you to realize how important it is with my own father, is you have the ability to just laugh, or like laugh at whenever, you said it on our last podcast, you said, a guy at a poker table had said like a dumb joke that was like not funny and you laughed at it. And like, there's like, because that you talk about selflessness, you mentioned selflessness on my side. That's a very selfless act, one way or another. But I think like being able to do that has the mindset like, I have a very go to war mindset, and sometimes I let that cloud my judgment of others when I first meet them, or as I get to know them. So I think that approach in life is great because, again, out of admiration, I see that can lead to a very peaceful mindset where you get to know someone on a different level, and so I really admire that about you. Like that, I think that saying sums you up very well. Like just smile and laugh at things. Always have a smile on your face, and even when it's hard, I know it's hard. Or even when you're going through times, like it's very. I appreciate that about you for sure.
I learned to laugh at myself first, and that's where it all
Yeah,
came from.
I gotta work on that one. But yeah,
Appreciate that.
I
Thanks,
think
man.
I don't think many people have that. And then I also wanted to say like that belief is you have to be persistent at it, which we talk about persistence, but like
It's somewhat genuine. Like I don't laugh out of pity. I laugh because if I do think it's somewhat funny, or even if I don't really get the joke, like I don't know. If I was trying to tell a joke and like start a conversation, I would want someone to like at least laugh and engage
empathy,
with
right?
me. Yeah. And so for me, it's like it's not trying to be fake or facilitate something there for them. It's just in my nature, you know, and it's worked out in a positive way for me. So yeah,
it's good, man. I like that's again one of the things that I think that's how big it is. You helped me realize it in my own father. So I I'm always grateful for that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. And I will go to Coach next. So I'll tell a quick story, but I blew up on Coach coming back from a Barry Bonds. He got his number retired in San Francisco, and I let him have it. And it was built up. Make it really quick. Sorry, it was built up from letting Coach. Like I didn't tell Coach like, hey, you know that comment hurt my feelings like earlier in the trip, and I just kind of let it build and build and build until I just totally imploded on him. And when we got back home, and hopefully this isn't too personal, Coach, is it?
No.
Okay,
No, you're
I just wanna
fine.
make sure because so he cried, and he went into my arms. And, no, I'm just kidding. But there's nothing wrong with crying. But what
We
I
were
told
naked.
Coach is I set him straight, and I said, hey, like, if you know, I brought up like those comments. Like I should have just told you those comments hurt my feelings, but I think I was trying to muscle it out. I was trying to be empathetic. I think you had said you recently a girl had broken up with you, so I was trying to like I knew you were blowing off steam and making comments. So I think I said something along the lines like, if you're gonna keep being this way, like I can't be friends with you. Like and that's saying a lot because I've known you for a while, and you flipped 180, and I don't know what that quality is or like what that mindset is, but I've never met anyone that's done that where for a person has been, not to say that you were like always making fun of me or anything, but you're making comments like that, but to be able to be more empathetic, like it's empathy, but then to be able to almost switch it so quickly where you're like, I know what he's talking about, and I can work, like I'll work on that when I'm around him, And I appreciate that every day because I've never met anyone like that, and not even myself. I've never met anybody that can change like that. So
It's a testament of how much he cares about your guys' relationship. for
yeah,
sure.
it always has meant a lot to me. It showed to me like it's one of those like moments of what's that saying like one of the moments that like turned you on a dime, or is it turned on a dime? Yeah, and so I always like I know it sounds really cheesy, but you in life like so many times you meet people where things truly surprise you, especially when you know them for a long time. You're just kind of stuck in the motions with them, and like I don't know what that trait is and that mindset is, but I will second what Goichi said about I'll finding a lovely lady, because that's something that I don't think most people have, and so I'm very appreciative of that in you.
Well, thank you, sir.
And the last, so I've known Nightmare the longest. And he's put up with my bullshit more than anyone. His own family's put up with my bullshit more than anyone too. The one thing that has always stunned me about you is you have always had this approach where, and I think you get this from your folks too, because they're very, very loving, but a lot of people are forgiving. But I feel like you are truly forgiving, where you don't let things. Like, and I'm saying this because I believe I don't have this, is where you can let things go, and I could say everybody here's got passive, everybody here's truly supportive of me, so I want to also say that about you guys, but like the unique part about you is like to be truly forgiving, where it's not in the back of your mind anymore, or it doesn't weigh on you, or you know what I mean, like I don't know if that is you're also the most quiet of the group, or the quietest of the group, but
you're on.
Yeah, and so I think like that. I don't know, man. I think that's a very loving trait. One, two. I think for a woman, or for a partner, I think that's like an amazing trait, to be able to like forgive and just like let it go. Like, dude, I don't even know what that's like. Like I harbor things so much, and I'm working on that. And I know that's a really bad trait of mine. But to watch that into someone is, and I'll give it to my wife too. I want my wife to know that she's very similar in that way, and I've just never met. It's very special. So it's a very special trait. All three of you have because all three of those, I definitely cannot smile at times. Most times I can't smile, or I can't do it, especially when I wear I just don't think that way. Like, it's not even about just.
That's how we balance each other out, if you think about it.
Yeah, I don't.
When we've interacted with other people,
We can all learn from each other.
Yeah, we all, even like all of us as a whole, like we bounce, it's weird the way we combine, but it's like fucking Captain Planet, dude. Like when we combine that shit, it's just powerful,
Yeah, I think
Or
we all
Voltron.
have.
I go with Voltron.
There
Let's
we
go with
go.
Voltron.
But yeah, those three those three traits of you guys, like I will always. I mean, we'll know each other for a lot longer, so it's like one of those things. Like things might change, and there might be something someday. We can always do another Hi5Lo5, but those are the ones that I've told you. I think I've told you guys those in the past. But I just always wanted you guys.
If I could just like expand on that a little bit, it makes it a lot easier to be more forgiving and let things go when you see willing change. And like I've told you before, like you're one of the few people that'll like admit I have a problem and I'm working on it, and I'm truly working on it. So it makes it easy to let things go or to forgive, because you're one of the few people that will say I made a mistake, or I have a problem and I'm gonna fix it.
Thanks, man.
So for sure,
Thanks,
like you make it really easy.
Thanks, man. All right, so that almost lost there. Okay, so the next segment we're gonna hit, because nice.
That topic should be changed to the try not to cry topic, because
Yeah, definitely. We are.
I hope you know.
Yeah.
I hope you
I wish you were here, Coach. We
Thank
could
you,
do, like,
Fergie.
a cute
Shout out to
topic.
Fergie. Maybe she'll host a show for us one night.
We should have ended on
my
that
cousin's
one.
in it.
I kind of,
Yeah.
but I like the last one. I think it's a fun one.
Okay.
The last one will be a fast one too.
You want to do? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
In-Believable History is the next segment we're gonna hit, and I just want to give a shout out to Nightmare. He's switching the overlays really quickly this time. It's like you're on point.
I made one mistake. I'm gonna fix it later.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
But you're doing much better. It's still all learning, and and he's got to change them as we go. So in-believable history, because obviously that's improper grammar, because it would be unbelievable history, right? So in-believable history is where we imagine a world. Sorry, it could be a world or a time. Doesn't matter when, but we imagine what all four of us would be in, and you don't get to say yours. So you whatever. So I'll start it off because I want to create the scenario. So we're in the Wild Wild West because the Wild West because I wanted to go. So and I'll create the scenario, but I'm gonna hand it off. You don't get to say what you would be in it, but everybody gets to say what they think you would be in it.
Oh, I like this.
So and the cool thing about it
It's
is
good.
the one thing is it's okay if we repeat it, but I had asked if you don't agree, get in your head now before people start talking because obviously the last person has the benefit here. But I'm gonna start with I think I'll go back to Goichi on this one to give it a go.
Okay.
So real
Goichi
quick.
would comment to recount.
So to all of us, what we would be in the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, and what I'm implying about that is could be it could be anything.
I'll lead.
Got it. All right.
Okay, so first off, I think he would be sheriff for sure because sheriff oversees everybody. He understands like how to take care of the town, what the town needs, and he's a protector of the town. And that's exactly what Beef is for us. And like, he's like the go-to guy, right? Like, if you think about any Wild Wild West like scenario or even movie show, usually the sheriff is the one you go to with all the problems, right? And they're supposed to fix the problem. And if they don't, like, they get the community together, and he can form like a group to help him solve whatever issues there are in the town. And I think that's what Beef represents. So sheriff, Nightmare, I feel like you would be the blacksmith. Like, you would be taking care of everyone's guns. You'd be taking care of their horses and all that stuff. Like, anything that has to do with, like, mechanics and, like, building and taking care of people. And just, like, even new, like, people coming in and you're taking care of their horses and, like, making sure everything's tidy and, like, up to speed. And, like, making sure that they have, like, I don't know, like, everything's in place. So, like, even if they left town, like, they had safe travels. Like, I feel like you'd be a good blacksmith and, like, caretaker of people like that. And then Coach, man. So I feel like Coach would be the head of the saloon, and he would be the guy playing the piano. So, like, you'd be working the bar, you'd be the host, and you'd be playing the piano. So, like, you would have your whole saloon to yourself, and you'd have, like, the ladies there, and you'd just be, like, the greeter of the town. So, like, I feel like the saloon is where everyone would go to, like, really, like, unload after, like, a really horrible day, shitty day, or they just want to get drinks, and sometimes it could be hostile. And I feel like you're that big burly guy that would come out of there and you'd be like, get the hell out of my saloon, and you'd throw them right out the door. So
Oh man, you nailed that.
So I will pass it to, I'll go to Beef.
Okay, all right. So I actually this is so blacksmith does guns.
That's a gunsmith, yeah.
Gunsmith.
Oh, okay. So I
blacksmith,
thought blacksmith was I thought
Like
blacksmith
horseshoe.
Yeah, horseshoes and stuff.
Horseshoes, like
That's what I associate. That's what I associate.
Building-
Like that was the first thing
Like,
came to
you
mind.
make guns
It's
and stuff
basically
too.
yeah. It's
And
basically
tools.
tools and like anything metal for like houses.
Exactly.
So I'll start with Goichi because this is I already had one for him. So you would be like so you'd be the shop owner. Because I was gonna go saloon is the gamble. You gamble there, right?
Yeah, you can.
So I was gonna say you own that, and I was gonna talk about that. You were like the not the matriarch. What's the thing? Matriarch? No, not that.
Mater D.
What was it?
Mater D.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I was like, no. What I could see you doing though is owning your own business, and then your wife would be there. What's their name? Your wife would be there too as well, and you guys it would be this like mystical place where like. It's like almost like because it's Wild West, right? And like there's no exact science.
Yeah.
Where and I don't know if this existed back then, but like where like they do spices on like so if someone's got a shotgun like got a shot or been shot in the chest or something, they would be like go to Goichi, and then you would come in and then like you would have this like
herbal remedy.
You would have some herbs going on. And then you
See
would
where you're
show
going
them
with
that you would be trying to push Eastern ways,
Yeah.
right?
You thought the Indians had teepees. Wait till you see mine.
Yeah.
So I envision like especially store owner too. I could see it like, but also people
Totally
go
down.
for you for like almost like oracle like wisdom mindset. So like you're in the shop
Oh
and
my
it's not a
God.
shop where you're in there.
Sign
for,
me
like,
up.
you're not like, oh, I'm gonna just go in and leave. Like
Yeah.
it's not like a McDonald's, quick in and out.
Experience.
You're sitting there and you're like, yeah, you're getting talked to about it, like
I love
and,
that.
yeah, it's like you kind of don't know what every experience is gonna be like, but it's always unique, and that's pretty much so I imagine that.
Oh my god, we need to make that happen.
Okay, so I actually think you would be an outlaw.
Yay.
Yeah, so I think you're an outlaw,
Okay.
and he would be your sidekick.
Yes!
Oh my god! That could be a TV
God,
show, man.
we-
It would
Oh
be
my
a great.
God.
I think you guys could go town to town, and you'd be almost vigilante like. Not outlaws in the sense that you're you both
Yeah.
you're not like going in and hurting others, but you're correcting, like very similar to Tombstone with Wyatt Earp. and
Yes.
Doc
Or like
Holliday.
what is what's that movie with what's that? It's all with Tonto. He had
Last of the
silver.
Mohicans?
No, he had silver bullets. Keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
Lone Ranger?
Talking about Johnny
Lone Ranger.
Depp.
Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
So I kind of foresee that because I could see you guys also working as a team, and I had other ones in my head, but Guichi
Yeah,
kind of
that's a
said it,
good
and I also wanted to like throw a wrench in this.
That's a good one.
But yeah, I could see you guys working together, like going town to town, and you come in and you clean the town. Especially towns in the Wild West. If they have one sheriff and it's one sheriff versus an army or a bunch of people, you guys have this skilled gun, especially you Nightmare with your skill set, and you could easily come in and clean the crime out of that town, and people would be grateful, and you keep moving on. So you're kind of like Texas Ranger, how you just keep traveling in a sense. But I would say both. And then Spencer's kind of like the fun guy, where like
Yeah.
as like you guys are taking out crime and taking the people out, or you're either locking them out or you're locking them down, or you do have a punchline that you say.
It's
and
got
you
a
say it to
one-liner.
everyone. It's kind of like when the Wet Bandits broke into every home in Home Alone.
Or Sticky Bandits?
Sticky Bandits, yeah, in the second
Sticky
one.
Hand Bandits?
You kind of had that like that thing going on, but I also envision you like Coach, where I'm thinking of there's a movie where it's like a bear and it's an older movie where he's a bear and I want to say it's like Hi5Lo Goes West. Is he a bear? He's not a bear in
He's
it.
not
Brother Bear?
But is the sheriff?
For the-
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of that cat. I'm thinking of that cat in Hi5Lo Goes West.
Oh my gosh.
You guys remember like where
I haven't
that's
seen
what-
5 Goes West.
Oh man, so they take it. It's kind of a similar story of like, hey, there's a bad guy in the town and the sheriff's like afraid.
Yeah.
The sheriff's like none of those, and then there's Hi5Lo, and then the cat. The cat's like is Coach, and he's coming, and you're like Hi5Lo in this situation, and you guys are, and he's but it was like one of those. We talked about Kremlin, or is it Kremlin from Dragon Ball?
Krillin.
I always keep doing that. Krillin had the belief that no matter what, because he'd always lose, but he'd always go into fights no matter what for his friends, and that's what I feel like the cat was in this movie. He was like, he really didn't believe he was gonna win, but he believed that he'd come in, and so I believe you're a combination of that, because you're easygoing, Coach, and you would also have a sweet punchline as you're just effing things up.
The
and
Biggie Smalls
and
Bandits.
You would go into that saloon, and you would you'd be talking to everybody, and you'd be like the highlight of the town as Nightmare is
man.
walking in the saloon, analyzing who's cheating at the poker table and who needs to be punished for. He's like the Punisher.
I'm the
in this
Punisher of.
situation. So yeah, I'll pass it off. I think it's just been us two, right?
Yeah.
I'll do Nightmare on the Sun.
Nightmare? Okay. I think for me, Goichi nailed it on the head for Coach. Coach, you would definitely be running the saloon. No BS. I'm pouring your drinks, but if you get out of line, I'm tossing you out. Definitely running the saloon, in my opinion. Goichi, I don't know why, but I see you working for the railroad.
Oh man, you should
Eh.
said mine.
Some sort of like. Where
I am
you're-
Japanese American, just
Yeah,
letting you
I was
know,
about to
okay?
Yeah.
No, not
historically
not
accurate.
building
You're
the not
quarter
building the
Chinese.
railroad, not building the railroad, working for the
It's
railroad,
unbelievable, right?
getting those.
Talk about full circle.
Yeah.
Oh, did I just do a racism? Oh
Yeah.
man.
I felt it a little bit. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. Like a
Okay, go
shiver.
ahead.
Yeah, no, just like clearing the way, getting the land, clearing the way for the
Oh,
railroad
okay.
for progress, and getting it done. Beef, I see you with a bunch of land in like having like half of it, owning like half of a state, and just being away from people and not
That's probably,
dealing
like, the
with
most accurate.
making sure he doesn't buy your land.
Like rivalry.
Yeah, just like just enjoying your land.
Like the railroad has to get through my land.
Yeah,
and
and
I'm
you're
just
like,
no.
no.
way. Like, yeah.
Oh my
But
God,
yeah,
we
you'd-
could have a whole series of cowboys. with
Yeah,
us,
and
dude.
you would be just, enjoying your land, going on hikes and
Yeah.
and living
Cattle
off the
herder
land,
on
cattle
horse.
cattle herder, yeah, free grazer. Yeah, that's what you'd be for me is you would be enjoying life the way you enjoy it.
That is true.
That's mine. Should
So,
I?
Coach, we got one more, right?
Oh yeah, coaches.
Coach.
Sorry.
All right, hold on to your butts here, guys. I got something
Stop
for
with
y'all.
the Jurassic Park references.
How many things he said? That's the best. Like, if he did the whole podcast, but secretly keep using lines from a movie, but until someone realized, like, why do you keep referencing The Matrix? Like halfway through it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So, Nightmare, I've got you pegged for the sheriff
Ooh.
because I got you pegged for the sheriff because you're gonna have the giant gun collection in town, and you're gonna monitor firearms for everybody. I've got Goichi as the town barber
Oh.
because he's gonna. I feel like that warm personality and just shooting straight with people, taking care of everybody.
Wait,
And
coach.
then
Really quick.
yeah.
Remember the barbers back then were also dentists.
Oh, geez.
So-
Oh yeah, so you could be the dentist too.
Yeah, why not? Just throw that.
You're gonna be real honest, like, hey, that tooth's got to come out. You're just gonna be straight up with them.
Let's take your leg while we're at it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure that's what's causing your toothache is that left leg of yours. So I
Man,
might
the
as well
deals
use
I would
that.
make too, being a dentist and a barber. Oh my
Oh my
God.
god,
package
you
Yeah.
make money hand over fist.
And then I've got beef. I had two different things here that I was trying to really decide between. I'm gonna go with. I could see beef being like the judge in like the county or the town.
Oh man, that's
Hang
interesting.
him.
Oh, me.
That was a good one.
Hang
That's
him
a
Okay,
good
all.
one.
yes.
Yeah, because I don't know. I just like you have like this presence and this like persona about you where you can like I think like Wild West like in the West and stuff. Like I get it. There probably weren't like a ton of judges around, but where there were like a judge or like going around, it's like you have like that reasoning of just like, oh shit, well you're guilty, yeah, well okay, cool, then you get to hang. Like
Justice.
no nonsense attitude. It's just like
You cut
everyone
me
gets
off
to
with your
hang.
horse. See ya.
So basically,
The
I'm
horse goes too.
Yeah.
so basically I'm cleaning up crime in a lot of your guys's,
Yes.
and beef is enacting my lawful rule in
Yeah.
in coach's world. So
It's like Boss Hog and what's his face in Dukes of Hazzard here.
It's a swing and a miss. I've never seen it.
from Hannah Mom,
Yeah.
from Hannah Mom in the chat. She's got you pegged as the pastor.
Oh my no, she's no way. No way. I'm gonna light on fire. I get the holy water. They'll have to drown me out with it.
That's how you get people to believe.
I'm a judge and I sentence people to death and
Judge
I'm a
as the
pastor.
executioner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I do church on Sundays and the rest of the week is judge.
Oh yeah, you give them their
No,
you give them their
Sunday,
last rites.
And then Monday is like the day of hang.
Yeah.
Good day Sunday.
Yeah.
Now we're on shitty Monday.
Yeah, I sentence you to death on Monday, and then on Wednesday you're giving last rites.
Yes. I'm a preacher, man. Like I need
that's
work.
a good gig.
Yeah.
I need work, so I'm like trying.
You're not getting any donations
Yeah,
from your church.
yeah. I'm like I just randomly pick somebody to like put against.
We
it.
gotta stay in business,
Yeah.
guys. Oh my god.
So I wanted to also know did we have when you look at us three like I feel like nobody said the same thing for me. Nobody said the same thing for Goichi. You were the consistent one.
Yep. I was
Yeah,
the
like
I was the
Sheriff,
cleaning
but
up
crime fighter.
crime person.
Yeah, crime
Gun
fighter,
related.
blacksmith. And then Coach had blacksmith, right? Or a gunsmith.
I heard
No, it was a saloon.
Saloon guy.
Yeah.
Oh
He was
no,
the
Coach said Nightmare was the.
yeah. I was the sheriff. I was the sheriff to Coach.
And
I
he
he
said
was
Gunsmith.
yeah. And,
Gunsmith, pretty much.
and
Yeah.
you,
And
I
then
was an
crime
outlaw
fighter.
vigilante for you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of seeing, and then
Interesting.
Coach had 2 saloons,
Yeah.
so he's the 2 saloons. Okay.
Dude,
Goichi and
I'm
I
so
were-
excited to live in a Western world.
Yeah, I thought because you know what actually brought that was if you guys ever watched the it's a show, but it was also based on a movie too. It's called Westworld. It's on
Yeah.
HBO, and it's like it's great. They're robots. Like they create a world like almost like Disneyland, but it's where you can actually be whatever you want in this world, and it's Western. But it also in the other seasons progresses, right?
Is it like a
It's like a theme park.
It's like a theme park, but is it only
Interesting.
Wild Wild West, or are there like different genres?
Yeah, I don't
they
want to
could
say
do?
anything. I don't want to answer that.
Okay.
Because especially if you haven't watched it, I recommend. It's one of those shows where it's like it could be a movie kind of thing. But if you imagine that world of like, man, you have to pay like a crazy amount of money to visit it.
Oh,
But
crazy.
it kind of reminds me of like Assassin's Creed because like they're going back into a time where it's the setting is old school, but then like they're futuristic, like they're from the future. So it's
Okay.
kind of like that, where like you're in the future, but you're going to like an old school.
Yeah, like you
theme
want to
park.
go back to that nostalgia, but live it.
Exactly, yeah.
That is cool.
And you can choose whatever
Mhm.
person you want, and it's like
Golly, man.
But the cool part, this is the robot.
I get hung like immediately because I'm like Japanese trying to go into Western world.
It would be.
I literally work on the railroad.
Well, that's like
Could you imagine?
the whole thing with so they go into that partly, and I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
They go into like good parts of history, but they'll go into that, and then the robots start to go. Their artificial intelligence starts to go haywire.
They become sentient or something.
Yeah,
Right?
so they start to like become self-aware, and it's like, but
Interesting.
yeah, it's a really good show. But it kind of spawned, so In-Believable History spawned from that, and being able to jump in that. So that's
That's
another
cool.
one that
That's a
could be a
fun
fun time. But so the last one I was gonna do Catch Me If You Can, which would be really faster, but we'll do that next time. Is the next segment is gonna be Ultimate Present, and I spelled that right? That's present as in.
Now.
Present.
Oh, how do you say present? Isn't it present like
same.
as in gift too?
It's the same spelling.
Oh, it is. Okay. I was
Yeah.
like, man, my
Homonym.
grammar's so bad. So I was like, so this is not ultimate now, but ultimate, like the ultimate present that you ever gotten. So I thought about this when and I'm gonna actually start this one, because I want to kind of give it. This could be a gift you received now or when you were very little, and it could be for Christmas. It could be for your birthday. It could be a gift that is not tangible. It could
okay.
be intangible, but essentially the gift to you is this gift that literally like you still remember to this day. Like could be so my gift is like one of it actually wasn't a gift for me, but I used it. Like I have 2, but actually no, I'll do the other. I'll do it because it was my gift. But and I'm gonna find this online because I would think when we post this on YouTube, this is a good one to post because this is like the trickiest one. So my uncle Terry got me this, and it was a Space Jam. I hope we can find it online, but it was kind of like Battleship in a way. Like, you know, a Battleship, you have the point of Battleship, each one has so you have like your board and then the person, you can't see each other, right? So the game it was attached, and it was a basketball, like where you flipped it, and it would flick and go in, and you would race each other.
Okay.
And so you would set it off, and it would be like, and it would say, you know, it had Bugs, Daffy, Michael Jordan said stuff, and the whole thing was like designed. So it was like you had one side. So I was
It's like
I was playing
battleships, but basketball style.
with basketball, yeah. And we're just flicking the thing and trying to get
Okay.
it in, and it was like, and you're racing, and it's like a minute, and it was so cool where like it kept like you just flick it, and again, Space Jam was like nostalgia for me, like, or it was always that like movie for me when I was growing up, where when I was sick I'd always watch that movie. So it was like this game. I still think it's the coolest toy I've ever seen, and to this day I don't know what happened to it. It just went out of my life. Like, it wasn't like there was a rite of passage where I was like, you know, we had to give it up. It just it disappeared one day. Like, I don't know if my mom ran it over or something, and like it just disappeared. But that was that gift for me like blew my mind completely. And I'm gonna pass it to Coach based on that. But I want to hear again. It could be any time, or it could be now or when you're a child.
All right, I'm gonna go with I forget what I got this for. I'm pretty sure it was for Christmas, and I think it was a gift actually for myself and my brother that year. But it was a ping pong table that our parents got us, and it not only is like just like having your own ping pong table like freaking awesome, but just how many memories we were able to make through that ping pong table. And we actually, I'm pretty sure my parents still have it in the garage, unless they've gotten rid of it. And through like it being warped and hasn't really been out in years and stuff, but we used to have like tournaments in our garage between like family members that came over or friends that would come over. My dad had a ping pong table growing up, so he got to like whip out his old ping pong skills from back in the day, and he owned our ass for a while until we like tried to figure out like how to beat him. But that was probably like an ultimate present for me, because it just like not only was it fun, and it was like countless hours were spent playing that, um, but just like who we got to play with, and like spending time with my dad and like my friends, and just family and stuff. Like even my mom got out there and played a couple of times. So it just kind of was like an activity that was like it meant a lot more, that looking back on it now, than I think it did like you could really realize in the present with it. So
So we'll go to Nightmare.
Oh man, I've got a couple, like, just like superficial, like just things like the laptop right now I'm streaming on was a birthday present from my parents.
Oh, that's a
It
good
was
one.
it was when I had lost my job and I was looking for a job. I had virtually no income, and my old laptop was literally falling apart. The screen was like detached from it barely turned on, and they put in for a new laptop and help me apply to jobs and get me into it got me into PC gaming, and it got me in it's gotten me into like figure out how to do all the stuff that we're doing now. It just kind of dipped my toe in the pool. Probably one of the it wasn't a personal gift, but it was a family vacation. We went to Hawaii, and like that's just so cool. And snorkeling and rode to Hana was pretty cool. Yeah, that whole vacation was pretty sweet. Yeah. How about you, Beef?
Well, I can
Oh, wait.
repeat mine.
Oh yeah,
But we'll
go
go to
Goichi.
Goichi.
Yeah. I
So
forgot about that Space Jam, just
Let's
like your parents did.
so for me, it's definitely, I'll never forget it. I wasn't even a teenager. I was a little kid, and my brother and I always grew up playing cowboys and Indians. Well, of course, we use our imagination, but we were always cowboys with our little cap guns and stuff like that. But what was cool was Knott's Berry Farm actually had they have this area, this old town of like a western town, but they have like a gun shop there for kids, pretty much, with air rifles,
Yeah.
and they have cap guns, and it's all displayed like how you would be like in a movie. So as a kid, like we ate that up every time. And I feel bad for my dad mainly, because every time we went to Knott's Berry Farm, we like begged him to get us a gun or something.
Guns?
Yep.
Yeah,
The pop guns
yeah.
and the cap guns. So
Yeah, those
like
are cool.
Mhm.
my brother and I, we had a collection of guns, right? But I had an all-time favorite like pump action air rifle. It was like just a regular like cowboy rifle, but it was like the pump one.
Good Red Rider
You
rifle.
can shoot
Pretty
right
much
out. Yeah.
Rider rifle, right? But it wasn't like a branded one. It was just like one from Knott's Berry Farm. But I'll never forget, like my cousin came over Christmas Eve and he left it out, and my dogs chewed it up.
Oh,
And it was
man,
my favorite rifle, right?
Oh
And
shit.
It happened that night, okay? It happened that night of Christmas Eve. I wrote an emergency letter to Santa Claus asking for a Red Ryder rifle, like a new one. Christmas morning comes. I open all my gifts. No rifle. My dad tells me to look behind the tree. It's a Red Ryder rifle. And I knew there's no way he could have got it at Knott's Berry Farm, because they were closed by that time, like we found out. So it blew my mind. And this rifle was even better than the one I had before. It was labeled. It had a design, etched design in wood on the stock of Red Ryder on his like horse and everything, holding the rifle. And it had like leather tethering to it. It was metal on the other end. It was the sickest thing ever. And I just, like, from that day on, I was like, Santa's fucking real. like, because there's no way my parents could
And he still is.
And till this day, my parents didn't tell me like how, So
They haven't
that
told
lives
you?
on. Nope.
That mystery is great.
Yeah, so it lives on in my memories, and like I'll never forget that. Like the feeling of like getting that rifle, as a kid, and like, cause man, when I saw mine destroyed by my dogs, like it was all chewed up. Like there was no way to repair it. Cause my brother would like use duct tape or whatever to fix our stuff, but man, that feeling on Christmas Day, and like to get it at the end of all my Christmas gifts, like, oh man, it was a good feeling. So
Dude, your
That's-
parents, that's a clutch moment.
yeah,
That's
it
why
was.
we're different, is because I would want to know so bad.
Yeah, I like the mystery, man.
That-
Yeah.
It's so magical.
I'd
so.
want to know.
Remember, have you guys did you guys see the we've talked about it. You actually
Dave?
Nightmare. So if you guys ever seen the show Dave on Hulu, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is one of the final moments was the sister talks about as a speech for her sister getting married. So she's like the what's the maid of honor.
Maid of honor.
She's the maid of honor. She's talking about preserving that magic.
Mm.
And like I forgot, I don't remember exactly what she was preserving. I think it was Santa. I think it was
It
Santa.
was a magician that they were
Oh,
seeing.
it was about magic, yeah, and preserving how important it is to preserve that magic, and then but like that's like how parents do that for us, like
Yeah.
that sacrifice of like keeping certain things special, and I don't know, that is pretty. Yeah, why would you want to know that? Because it's like it's already kind of cool that they you know the
was.
truth, but it's like
Even as we got older, like I talked about it with my parents, and they never told me. But I
That's
just thought
cool.
it was so cool that happened. So, yeah, and man, that toy was. I had a lot of good memories with that playing with my brother. So.
Can I have their number so I can ask them?
like Nightmare just totally ruins it the next time. Like he waits till the
I wouldn't
next
tell you.
podcast.
I just need to know.
He just starts yelling.
Where
it
did you
out, but
go?
That's really good. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think for us, yeah, we definitely we went 3 hours, a little close to 3 hours.
Almost,
We're,
Yeah, we're about 2.5.
Yeah,
'cause
man.
We gotta wait like a 10-minute break.
yeah. So thank you guys for for everybody that stayed on. Goichi is going to live stream this weekend sometime.
Yep.
I believe
I'll be on Rust.
Nightmare Fuel will be live streaming. He'll be doing a cooking Junto segment next Wednesday. And then our
thank
podcast is actually going to be next Thursday, due to one of us is going on vacation. So we'll see you guys. So stay on for this weekend and look out for Goichi on Long Live Junto on Twitch. You guys can check this out. If there are any segments you want to rewatch, you can always watch it on Twitch. You can always check us out on our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of good segments. Got some good segments of Goichi playing some Rust and Nightmare Fuel playing Warzone. All very fun stuff. And then definitely Coach's segment that he did earlier this week will be on YouTube as well. So thank you guys for joining, especially the ones that stayed on the full Monty. We appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, chat. Take care.
Talk to you later.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.